ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
It is raining here in Kansas City. A tornado watch is in effect. They played a college game on this field last night. What effect will it have? Let's find out from Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Mike, right now the field is in excellent condition. They've had a tarp over the field up until about 2 hours before kickoff. Now, this is Seattle's first game on grass all season long, but they told me that since they practice on a grass field in a rainy Seattle area, that the field conditions really shouldn't be a problem tonight. However, they decided to make some precautions. They're going to forego the shoes with the molded bottom. Instead, they'll go with this shoe, the one with the longer cleat, to help give them better footing in this ball game tonight. Mike?
All right, Solomon, hang on to that umbrella. The coaches tonight, Marty Schottenheimer, who has had tremendous success against the Seattle Seahawks, and Dennis Erickson trying to make a statement here tonight. He knows this would be a watershed game for his ball club. Tamarick Vanover from the 12. And stopped shy of the 25. Here's Kansas City's offense. Rich Gannon opens at quarterback. He's been a savior as a backup, going 7-2 in his last 9 starts. Bennett's done a good job as the featured back. Anders and Gonzalez have carried the passing game with the wideouts banged up. Up front, a major shuffle because of injury. Parker takes over at left guard, and Riley, the rookie, starts at right tackle. Anders and Bennett in the backfield. Play action by Rich Gannon. Knocked away at the last moment. Willie Williams reached out and got a hand on it. Seattle's defense has been stingy with points, and on the front four, Michael Sinclair has become a star with 32 sacks since the start of '96. Darren Smith was the year's free agent prize after Brown was added last year. He gives them speed on the outside. There's more speed in the secondary, especially with Springs at the corner, and Darrell Williams is a Pro Bowler. Mike Sinclair comes into the game tied with Derek Thomas with 7 sacks, number 2 in the NFL, and the rain getting harder and harder. And they'll whistle this play dead. The forecasters said the rain, 2 different systems were converging on Kansas City, and we're going to get the worst of it.
Well, I've just been seeing some lightning across this field. These people are moving.
Ball start, offense, number 88. 5 yards, repeat, second down.
It's Tony Gonzalez, the tight end, who moved early, and penalties. That is 40 in 4 games and 2 plays, and Marty Schottenheimer can't stand it. He says against Oakland, that's one thing. We always get penalties against Oakland, but everybody else, we shouldn't have it. And the rain now coming down in sheets. Gannon to Kimball Anders. Seahawks defense closes quickly, gets him to 25. Kansas City is so fortunate to have Rich Gannon in a quarterback-poor league right now. What a blessing.
Well, he's a prize to have. Here's a guy with a lot of experience. You see his record. He's 8-4. He's 7-2 here with the Chiefs. He's done a tremendous job of coming in and adapting to different type of offenses. He adapted to the West Coast offense last year. Now all of a sudden Jimmy Ray comes in and takes over for Elvis and changes a little bit of the offense, trying to go down the field. He can do it all.
And Rich Gannon will be a free agent at the end of this year. Seattle shows blitz, and here they come. Gannon lost the ball. The Seahawks have it. Phillip Daniels came from the right side and made Gannon give it up, and then got the recovery.
That's just pressure coming from the right side, and the ball being slippery. When Richie Gannon went down to try and throw, the ball just comes out of his hand.
Well, watch Kimball Anders, number 38. He's the guy that's going to back into his quarterback. Number 38 is in there to block. Watch him step up, and he knocks the ball out. Daniels is up in the air, but his own man, Kimball Anders, knocks the ball out of Gannon's hand.
And the Seattle Seahawks couldn't have drawn it up any better to get an early break like this. They go with 2 tight ends and Ricky Waters. Waters, room to run off the left side. And may have a first down.
Ricky Waters is the guy that's going to have to carry it for the Seattle Seahawks, he does a nice job of taking the ball to the hole. He starts where he wants to go. Now he breaks it outside. Notice the little hesitation. Freezes DT for a second, then fights for those extra yards. He will not go out of bounds.
It is 1st and goal. Matt Strong comes in as the blocking back. Waters runs into his own man and then swarmed at the 10. Seattle's offense led by Warren Moon, still playing at age 41 and still winning. Number 3 all-time in NFL passing yards and completions. There are big play people around him, especially the hard-running Waters and the incredible speed of Galloway. The offensive line has never produced a Pro Bowl player. That should change with Kevin Glover. He started the last 3 when he played with Detroit. Waters.
Ricky Waters, the ball carrier. He was tackled by Jerome Woods. Gain of 6 yards.
Ricky Waters was actually going to be going to the left-hand side. Max Strong, number 38, is the fullback, and we're going to see 2 blocking fullbacks in this football game. Watch number 38. He comes in on Davis, number 50. He gets the block, gets him on his knees, but Davis makes a great play by getting back up and making the tackle.
3rd and goal. It's raining just about as hard as it can. Moon to try to throw. Incomplete. James Hasty with great coverage on Pritchard.
This is a good call on 3rd down. The receiver always has an advantage when field conditions are ugly. Inside, Pritchard tries to take an outside position. Hasty just beats him to it. Almost has a shot at the interception. But I got to believe that part of the wind and the rain caused him to misjudge it.
And under these conditions, even short field goals are hardly gimmies. Todd Peterson on to try from 22.
The big thing is the holder. That's the important thing. Being able to hold on, and Fields is going to have to hang on to it.
They got the snap down, and Todd Peterson knocked it through. Seattle takes advantage of the early turnover and goes on top 3-0 here in Kansas City. A big AFC West showdown. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by GMC Trucks. See your local dealer today. By 10-10-220. Talk up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents. By Charles Schwab. By DirecTV. What are you looking at? And by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Unbelievable conditions here in Kansas City. It is pouring. There is a tornado watch.
You know, when you talk to the Seahawks guys, they say, hey, this is like at home for us.
Yeah, but they play indoors.
Well, they practice sometimes in it.
Are you ready for some football in some mud? Now, you got in the middle of that field, and hash mark to hash mark, if this rain continues, that's where the game is played. And that's going to be a mess, and it's going to be up to the linemen.
They're going to wind up having somebody hold for him here. The wind's blowing right at his back.
Willie Williams will be the holder. Now, both teams expressed a desire to have a conservative game plan in a big game like this. Now, with these weather conditions, they don't have a lot of choice.
I still think you have to pick and choose where and when you want to throw the football.
And we just had a major lightning flash over the top of Arrowhead Stadium. Whoa. Then over from the 7. Taken out at the 25.
You get into a situation like this, Mike, as Paul mentioned, the field conditions start to deteriorate. The size of defensive lines become important. For the Seattle Seahawks, you've got Danny Saleaumua, Cortez Kennedy, Sam Adams, the 3 big guys inside. They'll have to control it. You go on the other side of the ball for Kansas City, and you take a look at guys like Barnes and Pella McDaniels and John Browning. Not necessarily as big, but it's going to be important that their bulk hold up in the running game.
Saleaumua, the former Chief, gets the start tonight with Adams a little dinged up with a knee. Gannon lost control of the ball, and the Seahawks have it. And now the officials will say he was trying to throw. And that looks like a good call. His hand did come forward, but how long did he have the ball?
What a lucky break for Rich Gannon. All you have to do is start your arm forward. And you'll see that as long as his arm is going forward, he has the snap, he's got the ball. He goes back, he starts forward, he tries to pull it back. Yeah, that's an incomplete pass. Good call by the official. See how he tries to cup it and bring it in? And he still can't hold on to it. Chiefs got themselves a real break on that one.
Slugs for about a yard.
Well, you know, Marty Schottenheimer said, we have a pretty good running game. We'll find out. I'm telling you, because it's going to be almost impossible. We saw Gannon try to grip the ball, to throw the ball.
But let me just say this also. You're right. And I think a back like Donnell Bennett serves better in a game like this because he's not a nifty, skatey, breakaway kind of back. He's more of a plotter. And I think that this kind of weather condition would help the running game for Kansas City.
The Chiefs offense doing a good job on the ground. 7th in the NFL in their rushing attack. Seattle showing blitz. Now they back out of it. And they come again. Gannon, short pass, Gonzalez. Got it to the 37. That's a first down.
You know, Joe, you were talking about Gannon, about all of the qualities that he has. And the one that annoy him all this time, Joe, is his patience.
Yep. And that was excellent patience at the line of scrimmage, waiting for Seattle to commit. He does a nice job of looking up Tony Gonzalez. Gonzalez releases basically inside of Sinclair and just becomes like a basketball player. Now, look, this isn't a throw. This is a put. This is like being a shot putter out there. Keep in mind, too, Kansas City is going against a pretty stiff wind.
And a pretty stiff defense.
A beautiful put.
Straight up the gut. Not much there. Cortez Kennedy, Michael Sinclair around the ball.
96-97 are in the middle of that field. Sally Amua and Cortez Kennedy. Cortez Kennedy is number 96. Watch the push. Cortez Kennedy hits straight up.
Cortez, who says he senses urgency around this ball club. He said, we don't have a lot of time left. I'm in my 9th year. Time to win. Gannon under pressure. Drops it to Gonzalez, and he can't hold it. That will be a problem all night long as it continues to rain like this. For those of you who are wondering what the gold-colored line on your screen is, it is our latest technical innovation called ESPN's First and 10. While the line looked like it's actually painted on the field, it's being electronically generated by us. It is a visual reference for you to always know the yard line an offense has to reach for a first down. First and 10 exclusively on ESPN. 3rd and 9. Gannon under pressure. Gannon scrambling, trying for the first down, and he won't get there. Rich Gannon gave it everything he had, but Darrell Williams, the Pro Bowl free safety, horse-collared him.
A gain of 7 yards on the play. It's 4th and 2.
Joey Galloway will go back to take the punt of Aguiar, who has kicked it 574 times in his career. No blocks.
Thanks, Mike. Kiss of death.
Good step, not much pressure, and got it off the side of his foot. And it rolls out of bounds. A punt of 48 yards. There's a timeout on the field. 3-0 Seattle. 3-0 Seahawks over the Chiefs. First quarter. Derek Thomas has had 7 sacks at home. That's all the sacks he has, and it's noisy where he is right now.
Yeah, and they also try and take advantage of where he lines up. On our ESPN pre-play, you'll see that in one instance, he'll line up there on the right side of the line, and what he'll do from that position is he'll pressure the quarterback, go after Moon, bring him around outside, or he'll drop back into the flat. Then he'll flop over to the other side and do the same thing. That's why this defense is, or his position is called the Falcon position, which is very simple, or move inside. It's called a Falcon position because he's a flop end.
Waters lost his footing, went down at the 4. Well, you heard Solomon Wilcots earlier saying the field was in good shape. It has deteriorated in a hurry.
Well, they had the field covered, but what happened is, I mean, some of the water got underneath the tarps. So when that happens, I mean, that field was wet when they took it off.
You can see chunks of turf already coming up. 2nd and 11. Waters. Tough run. Reggie Tongue finished him off after Anthony Davis stood him up.
What you saw from the Kansas City Chiefs is you see great safety support. You saw Reggie Tongue come up and make the second hit on Ricky Waters. You're not going to bring Ricky Waters down with an arm. You're going to have to tattoo him. Watch him go through the line. See, now he's patient, goes through the hole. They're trying to arm tackle him. He gets out of Davis. Tongue comes up to make a play. Look for Seattle to take advantage of that and try and go up the middle of the football field with somebody deep.
3rd and 9. Warren Moon goes to the shotgun. A lot of time. Galloway can't hold it. Hasty was right on top of him.
Walter Jones, number 71, is the young man we talked to yesterday about going against Derek Thomas. Here's Walter Jones. He says, I got to get out to him. I got to cut off his line. Look at the block. Look at the footwork of Walter Jones. Derek Thomas does not get close.
Fiegels will kick to Tamarik Vanover. Just got it out of there. Vanover driven back to his 42. And stopped shy of midfield. Punt of 51, a return of 7 yards. Jason Kyle on the tackle for the Seattle Seahawks. 3-0 from Kansas City. If you just joined us, we're in Kansas City. We are under a tornado watch, and severe thunderstorms are just pelting the crowd and the players and the field here at Arrowhead. Bennett. Straight up the middle. Donnell Bennett. 15 yards. Power football.
Joe, this is exactly what you talked about. Donnell Bennett is ideal for this climate. Right up the middle of the field. Don't waste any movement. Don't try to go left. Don't try to go right. Just go right up the gut.
Victor Riley, number 66, does an outstanding job. There he goes, right inside. See him turn? See, once he gets his rear end turned inside, Bennett has a big, huge hole to run inside.
Sean Springs tried to use a shoulder block to bring him down, and that's not going to work. Bennett again, same play. Inside the 30. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with the return of Dan Reeves to the Meadowlands as his Atlanta Falcons battle the New York Giants. Join Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, and me for all the action right after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for primetime NFL football. 2nd and 3. Flags are down. Victor Riley may have moved.
False start. offense, number 66. 5 yards, repeat, second down.
Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Mike, right now, because of the heavy rains, visibility is very poor. You're not going to see too many balls going up the field in the passing game right now. And in the running game, the running backs are having a difficult time getting it going. In particular, Ricky Waters having a tough time getting started. The only way these guys can run is straight ahead. There's no cutting left or right. Mike?
Solomon, we will buy you a new suit. Nice cut. Donnell Bennett stood up at the 26 and gang tackle. Well, watch, he will not get rid of the football. He is going to hand it to the official. It's called the Seattle rule, put in place by Marty Schottenheimer because they used to be so good at stripping the football on plays just like that.
Kimball Anders, number 38, is the fullback, and he's smaller than Bennett. But watch him on the left-hand side of your screen. Bam! There is a great block on Chad Brown. Chad Brown eventually gets back into the play, but Kimball Anders, I mean, this guy not only can he catch the ball, can he run with the ball, but he also is a great blocker.
He really is the total complete fullback, and he's a guy with the weather conditions as they continue to deteriorate will become a bigger part of the passing game as well.
Shy of a first down, so it will be 3rd and short. Donnell Bennett already 32 yards on 5 carries.
I'll tell you why a quarterback sneak is not a good idea in this kind of short yardage situation, because the center has to quickly try and make a block and also get the ball to the quarterback. So his rear end's going to be moving as your hands are. With the weather, don't look at me like that, Paul. With the weather conditions this way, you're better off trying to get the snap, make a good snap, and then get it to your back.
Tony Richardson is in as a blocker. Richardson will get the carry and have the first down at the 25.
Slash ball carrier.
That's right. Well, everybody knows about Kansas City's defense. They have for years, but the Seattle defense, after Miami gave up some points today, is right at the top of the NFL in points allowed.
And a big reason why is because of Cortez Kennedy anchoring the middle. Greg McCracken, the defensive coordinators, look at how low he is to the ground. Look at Tez get down. They tell defensive linemen, get below the offensive lineman. All he wants to do is occupy a gap.
Donnell Bennett again up the middle. This time stood up by Darren Smith.
Greg McCracken, the defensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, really has something to work with now. When you talk to him, you say our biggest addition has been Darren Smith. He gives us some speed, gives us an opportunity to put pressure on the quarterback in 1st and 10 situations. They couldn't do it in past years. Now they can.
Joe, doesn't like a field like this and the rain and the mud kind of take Darren Smith out of this game?
He cuts down on his feet. You're right. He's not a big guy, and so he can get pushed around.
2nd and 9. Kimball Anders will get a carry. Breaks the tackle, gets inside the 15-yard line. This is just good old-fashioned smash-mouth football.
Well, they line up and they say, here we come. Criswell on the outside and Glenn Parker. These guys get excellent blocks. Number 62 is Glenn Parker. 69 is Criswell. And on that left-hand side, watch the blocking by these two guys. They just go and turn everything inside, pops in number 48. The linebacker gets an excellent block, and here's Kimball Anders.
Look at the way Kimball Anders protects the ball and runs with a forward lean. He knows that the footing is bad, so when people hit him, they're not going to be able to deliver an impact blow.
1st and 10. Donnell Bennett, another big hole inside the 10. And they are doing this without the injured Dave Zott at left guard.
Well, and where they're doing it is between the hash marks. There's not a whole lot of room in there, and that's where they're running. Hash mark to hash mark.
And Bennett came out holding his hand.
Tim Grunner, there's the center, number 61. Here he's going to block on 97, Sally Moore. It just takes him down the line of scrimmage. Look at the hole. Glenn Parker, 62, seals off. The hole is there.
7 carries, 39 yards, straight up the middle for Donnell Bennett. 2nd and 4.
Kimball Anders, the ball carrier. He was tackled by Dean.
That'll bring up a 3rd and about 2. There is Sam Adams with that bum knee, the first alternate to the Pro Bowl.
3rd and 2.
a year ago and came out of Texas A&M. He's another one of those wide bodies at 300 pounds. Right now, spending more time on the sideline with Dennis Erickson as Dan Saliamua is in there. 3rd and 3. 3 wide receivers set. Richardson on a delay, and Seattle wasn't having any of it. It's a heck of a play by Chad Brown. They emptied the backfield except for Richardson, who's only had 9 carries all year.
Well, what you try and do is you try and get a linebacker to move with the back when you send him in motion. And what happened is Seattle didn't buy it at all. The 2 inside guys did a nice job of stopping up the middle.
Aguiar will come on to try to hold for Stojanovic.
Again, what is so critical in this situation is the holder's ability to hang on to the ball. Both punters in this game are the holders, so they shouldn't have much of a problem.
And the kicker has to be careful with his plant foot as well. Stojanovic goes down on his back, but the ball goes right through the uprights.
There's your old plant foot.
Which didn't plant in this case. But we're tied at 3-3, KC and Seattle. Hard to say they're enjoying it, but it's 3-3. They're here. Arrowhead is filled again, and Seattle has seen this act before. In the last 9 years against the Seahawks, the Chiefs have won 15 of 18. They have a sack differential of 41 and a turnover differential of 22. And Dennis Erickson has never beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. Aguiar to kick. Broussard can't handle it to 2. Room up the middle, and he skates to the 21. 40 seconds to go, first quarter. Rain is not going to bother Belly Boy. I don't think anything else is either. Tied at 3. That is the middle of the field here at Arrowhead. Holy smokes. Seattle takes over at its own 20. 1st and 10. Waters, stutter step. Gets about 7. Take a look at the Kansas City defense with Chester McLaughlin still out. Browning will move to the left end. O'Neal will start at the right. Tremendous speed at linebacker, especially Derek Thomas coming off the corner. He's 9th all-time with 114.5 sacks. This could be the best secondary in the game. Carter and Hasty, the corners. Woods and Tongue, the safeties. They can all cover. They can all hit. Seattle is going to let the first quarter clock run out and go towel off for 2 minutes. That's the end of the first quarter in swampy Kansas City. 3-3 against Seattle. Welcome back to Kansas City. They are building the ark as we speak. I'm just glad we're on the 2nd floor. Now, you guys played under conditions like that from a punter and a quarterback perspective. What are the problems?
First of all, it's easy for Aguiar because he's at an advantage. He's a one-step kicker. It's so much easier for him to drop that one step and kick the ball.
But doesn't he still have to catch it?
Yeah,
I mean, that's really the thing about being the quarterback here. I think that you have to pick a time somewhere in this quarter and try and put the ball down the field and get some kind of a big play out of it, because as the water continues to cascade into this stadium, it's going to be harder and harder to get the ball down the field because the ball is going to get heavier.
The only time I have seen it rain this hard is when I used to work in Jacksonville, Florida, and we had a couple of tropical storms. That's it.
I played a game in Tampa in this kind of weather. Believe me, it was not a high-scoring football game.
Waters. Flag is down. It may be a hold. He has done a tremendous job on this field, changing direction with that little short stutter step. And this will come back.
You know, talking to Ricky Waters yesterday, I'm really, really happy for him, for where he is.
Holding, offense, number 53. 10 yards, repeat, 2nd down.
That's the Pro Bowl center, Kevin Glover.
And the reason I say that, Joe, is because of his attitude. He's taken a leadership role on this football team. Everybody always talked about how he complained and all that stuff. He isn't a complainer. He gets mad at himself.
Well, he just wants the ball, too, which every great player does.
The numbers so far in the ball game, the Chiefs with 61 yards on the ground, most of it courtesy Donnell Bennett. But we're not going to see numbers that are any better than that unless it stops raining. And there are no signs of that right now. 2nd and 14. Waters. Loose ball. Kansas City has it. Leslie O'Neal with the recovery.
And you know, guys, it isn't even a case where people have to knock the ball out of the ball carrier's hands. The ball is just so wet, he can't hold on to it. Warren Moon takes the snap, does a good job of getting it to Ricky. Ricky tries to make a break, and in the same instance, just doesn't gain control of the ball. You see it go on the ground, Kansas City's ball.
You know the amazing thing about it, that first shot that we saw of the ball, before Moon even gets it, the ball is sitting in a puddle of water, Joe. I mean, half the ball is submerged. There's no way that that thing can come out dry.
Ricky Waters and all the running backs are going to have to be real conscious before they start looking for holes. They have to get the ball first.
One wide receiver in this set. It's Joe Horn and 2 tight ends. Donnell Bennett again. And I think as the game goes on, you're going to see both teams sneaking the safeties up closer and closer and closer, and then somebody's going to go for downtown.
Next person that gets a score in this game is going to have a very decided advantage.
You know, one of the big problems are going to be if they have to kick another field goal at this end of the field especially. If you look at the middle of that field, there's got to be at least an inch or an inch and a half of water. And that means you're going to have to set the ball down in the water.
Second and 7. Bennett stood up in a hole, breaks the tackle, stood up again as Sean Springs finished him off.
Donnell Bennett, the ball carrier.
The field conditions have been deplorable so far. Gannon with a fumble there. That was an incomplete pass. Drop by Gonzalez, a drop by Galloway. Stoyanovich has a seat. Broussard can't handle a punt, and it's just gone on and on that way, and you can understand it.
Are you playing games like this, Joe? Has a player ever drowned?
Only if the pile stays there a long time.
3rd and 4. Fumble. Seattle has it. And folks, there is no mystery to this game. It is 11 on 11, smash mouth, straight up the gut football, and see who can hang on to it.
In this case, it's Darrell Williams who comes in and winds up jumping on top of the ball.
Michael Sinclair may have been the guy responsible for knocking it loose.
When play resumes,
Michael Sinclair makes the play. And this is the thing. Sinclair is so quick. He slides down inside of Popson, manages to get a hand on Bennett, just hits the ball, knocks it loose. Williams is sitting back there, number 33, and he dives into the pool. Watch this. Into the pool. There you go.
Timeout on the field. What's left of it, 3-3. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Sunny Delight. Reach for the good stuff. Reach for the sun. By Quaker State for protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. And by Mercedes-Benz. 3-3, Kansas City and Seattle. You know what? It might stand up.
That's the night that the corners on both teams are almost like taking the night off.
Well, you know what it becomes? It becomes a premium on wide receivers or wide receiver who's ever in the game being able to block downfield.
Come out in the eye after the fumble recovery. Waters. Can't break the tackle of Wayne Simmons.
Let me say this about the football. The football is leather, and it actually does. The wetter it is, the easier it is to hold on to as a running back. If you're a quarterback, You can't grip the ball very tight because it squirts out of your hands, so you have to just put gentle pressure on it to try and throw some type of spiral. What are you laughing about?
Just look at Rick got the ball on the screen.
I know, it's down in the mud, isn't it?
Waters. Little hesitation move, and another flag comes down as Waters skis his way out to the 16. The other thing, those pads and the uniforms get so heavy, they are just drenched.
Well, they are, and you're probably going to see a lot more holding penalties this evening because, you know, the defense, they're teeing off. The offensive guys can't get any footing. They're just trying to save their quarterbacks and their backs.
10 yards, repeat, second down. Half the distance to the goal, half the distance to the goal.
Second and 16.
Second and 16, they'll back them up on the holding call. It's almost as loud as it is wet. Waters hit in the backfield. Tom Barnt, the converted offensive guard who moved to nose tackle and has just made tremendous progress.
I know it's almost impossible to throw, Joe, but when you got Barnt is sitting in there and he knows all you're going to do is hand the ball to Ricky Waters, all he does is tee off. He's not even worried about pass. He just takes him back into the running back. Glover, 53. Look at the center. Barnt takes him back to Waters and then makes the tackle.
3rd and 17. Waters.
Ricky Waters on the carry.
Dennis Erickson said if you're 3rd and long against Kansas City and Derek Thomas, there are a lot of things that can happen bad, and he did not want to be in that situation.
Not only that, Mike, that's with good weather conditions.
Yeah.
That would be under normal circumstances. In these type of conditions, it certainly behooves you not to try and do something cute when you know people can't hold on to it and people are having trouble standing up blocking.
Eagles will punt to Vanover. Don't expect Vanover to make too many fancy moves. He had a dislocated toe. He can't really cut. These are tough snaps. Got it down. Eagles got it out. That's a good kick under those circumstances. And he backs it up to the 48 just the way Mr. Theismann hits that wedge.
Actually, mine spins back even a little more.
41 yards. Don't look for the bounce.
That's a heck of a kick.
Still 3-3. 3-3 with 10:52 to go. First half of play. Seattle, Kansas City. It is a mess at Arrowhead. Kimball Anders straight up the middle. Gets maybe 2.
Kimball Anders, the ball carrier.
Beaver the Deuce every Friday night at 8. The hottest show in boxing. ESPN2's Friday Night Fights. This week, light heavyweight Frank Tate and David Telesco will battle, while our classic segments continue to feature the early bouts of the greatest. Muhammad Ali, all that, plus Brian Kenny and Max Kellerman with the latest news from the boxing world. First 2 series for Kansas City, they threw the ball 6 times. Without success, they have not thrown it since. Bennett. Good hard run by Donnell Bennett to the 41-yard line. Chad Brown finally got him.
And a real nice push by that offensive line. Will Shields, number 68. Victor Riley, right tackle, number 66. They get a good push on Seattle's D-line that gives them a place to come and cut back to. Watch the right side of this line. There they are. Shields, Riley, Gonzalez, 80. Look how they shove everybody down. Sinclair gets pinned down, gives Bennett a place to go with the ball.
3rd and 2. Donnell, Chad Brown saw the play coming, fired in from the outside, and made the tackle.
I just don't think that there's any way, the way the weather is now, the amount of rain that's coming down and how wet the field is, that you're going to be able to run off tackle. You've got to run actually between the guard and the center.
You're right, and it's going to have to be straight ahead. That time, Kansas City pulled an offensive lineman which allowed Chad Brown to get in his hip pocket and make the play from behind.
But one of the things Aguiar should not even think about doing is putting this ball in the end zone. Just let it hit.
Kerry Joseph waits at the 10 for Aguiar's punt. Nice high floater. Joseph will let it go. And somehow it skipped into the end zone. Aguiar deserved better, and he's really upset. That baby hydroplaned about 4 yards. Seattle will take over at the 20.
First and 10, Seattle.
Walter Jones was one of the guys on the hot seat tonight. He had to face Derek Thomas. He's done a good job against him so far. Derek unable to get much traction coming off the corner. Neither team has thrown the ball in almost 14 minutes under these conditions. Waters. An appropriately named back for a night like this, and there is another flag down. Already had 2 holding calls against the Seattle offensive line. This will go against Kansas City, offside.
Offside. Defense on the nose guard lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
It's Tom Barnt.
So this is Tony Richardson in the tunnel on a bike because he has a
Actually,
hamstring.
that is not a bike, it's a pedal boat. He's just trying to get out to the field. That's all.
Where's the big swan hit? This is absolutely unbelievable.
Well, if you look at what the defense is doing, I mean, even though we're saying you can't really try to get to the outside, go off the tackles, but if you look at Ricky Waters, every single play, he gets the ball, he hops, and then he goes straight ahead. And if you look at the Kansas City Chiefs defense, there must be 8 red shirts between the 2 tackles.
7:30 of the first quarter. That's the last time we had a pass. There's 8:09 to go in the half.
And Seattle is going into the wind of Gunther Cunningham's defense.
Waters trying to get to the first down sticks. They are right at the 30. There's another marker down, though.
They could wind up with another holding call against Glover.
And if anything, it's raining harder now.
You know, it must be outdoor events, Joe, because it's the only time I've ever heard people in mass cheer lightning. I don't understand that.
And it's hitting rather close to them.
Yes.
Holding. Offense. Number 53. 10 yards. Repeat. Second down.
Joe, that's a 3-time starter in a Pro Bowl, Kevin Glover.
But his first responsibility, Mike, is to try areas right in the middle. Watch this. He's going to hang on. His responsibility is get the ball. There he is. He's holding on to Barnes. He's holding on. He's holding on. He grabs him with that left hand and tries to pull him down. You have to be pretty close to the action in the interior line to see anything with the way this rain is coming down. That's unbelievable. I've never, ever seen it like this.
2nd and 14 in a deluge in Kansas City. Warren Moon bots the handoff. He's going to have to eat it, and they'll try to take it away from him on the way down. Even the most routine plays aren't that anymore.
No, they're not, because they're missing handle. But if you look on the outside at the wide receivers in the 2 corners, Hasty and Carter, I mean, they're out there not doing a whole lot. Now, here's Warren Moon. He misses the handoff. Ricky Waters, I don't know whether he went the wrong way or not, because the other guy was Max Strong, 13, when it didn't give him the ball. And here they are just trying to strip the ball away from Warren Moon.
3rd and 15. In this game right now, the punters and the snappers are the most important guys. And now one of the officials has run up to call a conference. And this may have to do with the deteriorating weather. They had discussed the possibility before that if the Lightning got too close, they could suspend this game and wait for the system to pass. And now Phil Luckett is going to go over, try to find a telephone, which is under something.
You know, I've been to places to see a lot of rain, but we're looking across this field to the other side of the upper deck, and you can hardly see the people on the other side of this field.
Now, we've both been places where it snowed that hard and not been able to see from a visibility standpoint. Not rain, though.
The other thing he could be checking, we understand one of the headsets is not working in the quarterback's helmet. In that case, they'd have to turn them all off. And the NFL has now issued a ruling to get the players off the field. The lightning is too close. I mean, they'll put up with the wind and the rain and the puddles and not be able to really play football, but they can't take a chance with the lightning, and this is the right decision. So the game is suspended with 7:10 to go in the second quarter. And the water is literally ankle deep in parts of that football field. And they are asking the crowd to move under cover.
We have had storms here in Kansas City all afternoon. I mean, it's been thundering and lightning since about 11 o'clock. And we haven't had rain like this.
You know what? If I'm in the stand, you don't have to ask me to go undercover.
Oh, no.
I've been gone for over an hour. I'm undercover.
Yeah, I believe in initiative in this kind of circumstance.
I mean, just waves of water down on the 50-yard line from where we're looking. It's just waves going down the field.
You've got to hand it to all our cameramen, the guys out there who are wrapped up as tight as they can in their rain outfits, but they're drowning, and they're holding on to about 400 pounds worth of metal.
That is pouring out of the stands down towards the field.
This literally looks like something out of a scene, out of a tropical storm over the state of Florida. It is not. We are in Kansas City, and they told us that 2 storm centers were going to converge over the stadium a little bit past 7 o'clock. And boy, they were right. They have converged, and they are continuing to converge.
Mike, even if the wind stops, the rain stops, they're never going to be able to get this field playable.
All right, we will check on the weather conditions and the status of our ball game when we come back. There's 7:10 to go in the first half. Seattle and Kansas City are tied at 3. It may look like Niagara Falls. It is not. It is Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, a 3-3 tie. The game has been suspended with 7:10 to go in the second quarter because of lightning. Let's check in on the field with Solomon Wilcott. Solomon, what do you have?
Thank you, Mike. Right now, I'm joined by referee Phil Lequette. And Phil, it's obvious the weather conditions has caused you to really call the game, at least suspend it temporarily. What were the real reasons why you did it? Were the safety of the players in jeopardy?
Well, of course, it's the safety of everyone. We're in a temporary hold because of the weather, particularly the lightning. So we're just waiting until it clears up and come back. We'll finish the game.
What's the standard procedure? How long do you wait, and what has to happen?
There is no time limit. We're going to wait till it's safe, but we'll get it in.
Okay, thank you, Phil. Well, that's it. Let's send it back up to you, Mike.
All right, Solomon, thanks. Commissioner Paul Tagliabue, the only one with the authority to cancel the game. Hopefully, we'll be able to get this in. They'll wait out the weather system. Right now, let's go back to our studios. Here's Chris Berman. Chris?
Mike, I hope you packed the big umbrella. And we don't mean to be foolish here. This is something Tommy Jackson, you and I have, well, never seen, but certainly a suspended game like that. We remember a preseason game with lightning at Chicago at Soldier Field involving the Bears, obviously, that they just whacked after 3 quarters. The sheets on the field are unreal. Now, can we ever expect a pass to be completed from here on out if we see rain like this?
Well, I think trying to throw the ball is so difficult for the quarterback in terms of just the receiver being able to see the ball as it's coming to him, hold on to the ball. And
Same type of game plans. A lot of plotting by the big backs.
Shame, really, for these conditions because it is such a huge game for both ball clubs. The winner will only be 1 game out of the lead behind the undefeated Denver Broncos. The other thing to consider in this game, the only scoring has been on field goals. That's not going to be easy for the field goal kicker.
But I also think now that with the field conditions the way they are, the offense will have a distinct advantage throwing the football because the receivers will be able to know when they want to come out of breaks, gather themselves and plant. The defenders are going to have to be real cautious because if you get a guy that catches the ball and you miss him, a lot of help is not going to be able to get there in a hurry.
When we resume, it'll be 3rd and 15. Seattle has the ball at its own 15-yard line. Let me ask you this. With another weather system coming in, wouldn't it be critical to take a chance and get the lead? Wouldn't that be a huge advantage right now?
The only problem I see with it, Joe, though, is 3rd and 15. Yeah. You're 3rd and 15. You're coming back out here cold. And Coach Erickson said to us, we're not going to take any chances against this defense and this crowd. Well, obviously, the crowd is what's here is not going to be affected. But I don't know if you can go for it on 3rd and 15.
I don't think you change what you're doing. I agree with you, Paul. I think you just run the ball and play your game plan. It's like it's a nothing game. It's 3-3. It's the same as nothing.
Let's take a look at the stats for the first quarter and a half. Really, there aren't any. I mean, all the teams did was try to run the football. The Kansas City Chiefs actually have 76 yards rushing. They've tried 6 passes. Seattle has only tried 2. There have been 3 fumbles, each one of which resulted in a turnover in this ball game and set up 22-yard field goals for each team.
Again, the kicking game will be so vitally important, being able to pin the opponents back. I mean, it's going to be a chess game for a while. Right now, Seattle is the one that's sort of pinned back. And Kansas City is the one that's going to have to take advantage of the opportunity if they can get good field condition.
Plus, there are so many elements in the kicking game. You start with the snapper who has the ball sitting in water. He's got to get it to the holder on a field goal, or the punter in that case. And then the holder has to get the ball down, and the kicker has to establish his plant foot. We've already seen Stoyanovich fall down on the field goal that he made.
And again, I think the advantage punter-wise is Aguiar because he is a rocking punter. He takes a rock step. It's actually a one-step kicker.
Art McNally, the NFL representative, is explaining the situation to the coaches. There's Kansas City General Manager Carl Peterson on the left. Now, apparently the discussion is whether there will be a halftime. Let's go to Solomon Wilcox.
We're ready. All right, thanks, Mike. Right now I'm joined by Kansas City Chiefs General Manager Carl Peterson. And Carl, are there any concerns about proceeding with this game after the delay?
Well, the problem is that there is still a front out there, and it's got a lot of lightning, and we want to get the game in if we can. But obviously, the safety of our players and fans comes first. Right now, it's clear we're going to go ahead and play. We just talked about an abbreviated halftime to see if we can get this game in because National Football League would like to get the game played, obviously.
What was discussed with some of the league officials just a moment ago?
Well, the potential of if it can't get in, then what do you do for making this game up? But we think we can get this game in, and that's the key element, again, but not at the expense of the safety of our fans, players, everyone here. Right now, we've got some decent weather, so we're going to go, and we'll go as long as we can, try to finish the first half, take an abbreviated half, probably 6 minutes, come back, and then try to get on with the game.
Now, what are the options should you not be able to finish this game tonight?
Well, obviously to replay it either tomorrow night or to play it during our bye week, which all of us are going to have a week from this coming weekend, all of us being in the AFC West.
Okay, thank you, Carl. And you know what, Mike? You have to leave it up to Dan Saliamuta to put this whole thing into perspective. He leaned over and said to me, hey, where's a roof when you need one? Mike?
Yeah, where's the dome? It's in Seattle. We're in Kansas City tonight. Now, the players, are going to be given a chance, and rightfully so, to go through their warm-up and stretching exercises again. You can't expect these guys to come out of the locker room and just starting to play. Again, that's protection of the players, which has got to be foremost in everybody's mind.
I'll tell you, the hardest part of these guys are guys that have, like, slight pulls. We saw Richardson on a bicycle.
Andre Rison with a ham.
To get these guys back without injury. I mean, that's, to me, is the biggest problem that they have right now. How much time is going to be enough time for these guys to loosen up?
The good thing, there is a positive side to that. They're not going to be able to stretch out and really try and extend themselves. I think you're going to see the bigger guys have an advantage. That's why I think both Donnell Bennett and Ricky Waters, with their running styles, more upright. They don't run on the inside of their foot when they try and make cuts. They lift, Ricky in particular, lifts his knees very high, runs high in the middle. Donnell, as we see it, is somewhat of a slider and a glider. He's not a big guy who cuts and slashes. So, you know, if this condition actually plays in to the hands of the offensive linemen, if they can get their hands on a guy and turn him, there's going to be a hole there.
Well, certainly the traction has to be a little bit better than it was during the unbelievable downpour. We had 5 inches of rain in an hour. That is hurricane-type rain.
I am amazed when I look at this football field, and 10 minutes ago, 90 yards of it was literally under a couple of inches of water.
Well, Seattle's offense is out. Kansas City's defense is out. And the kickers are at the other end warming up.
Well, here we go. It'll be 3rd and 15. 7:10 to go in the second half. We are tied at 3. And John Freeze is in at quarterback. We do not know why. Of course, you would expect this play is going to be a handoff anyway. Maybe Warren Moon needs a little bit more time to get warmed up.
Well, remember one play before they went to this break that Warren Moon missed the handoff. Somebody went the wrong way. He had to eat the ball, and he got nailed.
The officials have not marked the ball ready for play yet. And now they have. 3rd and 15. A 50-minute suspension. And now the officials are going to blow it dead before it starts. As soon as we have a report on Warren Moon, we'll pass it along to you. Freeze is 1 for 1 this year for a 14-yard gain. And now they're talking to Dennis Erickson. And we do not know the subject of this conversation.
It could well be the headsets, the communication system. I think that's what might have to happen. Marty Schottenheimer is not wearing one, and therefore Dennis Erickson may have to take his off.
Well, there comes Warren Moon out of the locker room. Right now, he is just going to the Seattle bench. He's moving all right. And now he'll warm up. Freeze, of course, was the starter last year. Warren Moon was the backup, and Freeze fractured his thumb in the first game. Dennis Erickson went with Warren Moon, and he threw for a club record, as he has done everywhere he's ever been. But Freeze is the quarterback on the first play after what is now a 52-minute delay. 3rd and 15.
Crowd's back.
Aren't they? Nobody left. And it looked like Brian Habib, the right guard, jumped offside.
That was your problem. You get a new center with a change of cadence, and what's happened is the offensive line tries to get off in the rhythm of Warren Moon, but he's not there.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 68, 5 yards, feet, 3rd down.
Habib, one of the important free agent acquisitions. He was the starter for the Super Bowl champion Broncos and came to Seattle along with Kevin Glover. That's a lot of talent to add to that offensive line.
And one thing Dennis Erickson told us yesterday, Joe, and that is, I don't want to be 3rd and long and 2nd and long and have this crowd get into the ball game.
3rd and 20. Play action by Freeze. Throws it, it's caught up at the 30, then it came loose, incomplete. Pritchard nearly made a great catch. It looked like the ball came loose when he hit the ground. And Pritchard is upset about the call. What a throw by Freeze, and Derek Thomas just skated past him.
What a great call, too. Everybody expects you to run it out because of field condition. Freeze gets a clean new ball. Throw goes up. Here he comes down. The ball does come out. That's a good call by the official.
And now they're going to blow the play dead again. The officials want to reset, I believe, the play clock.
What a great call. I'm really amazed at the call.
Fiegels to punt to Vanover. Good snap. Good kick. Fiegels with a beauty. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Well, Mike, the reason why Warren Moon was so late coming out of the locker room, when they were ready to resume play, he was still inside changing clothes. Now, they were very reluctant to put him in on the very first series. They want to give him some time to sort of loosen up. He was warming up on the sideline. I am told he will be back in the ball game on their next possession.
I guarantee you, guys, you're going to see the ball in the air a bit more now.
You know, one thing about Fiegels' punt, and you don't know what a tremendous punt that really was. He kicked the ball out of bounds inside the 40-yard line with no chance of a return.
Last 3 drives, they have run the ball every single time, straight up the middle. And they do again with Donnell Bennett. Not much here. Dean Wells trying to strip the ball after Daniels had him around the knees.
With the success that Kansas City did have when they were playing earlier, running the ball up the middle, the break now has given Seattle to make any adjustments, looking at some pictures, talking to some of the coaches upstairs, to make any subtle adjustments inside to try and shut down those runs.
Kansas City did throw the ball early 6 times with very little success. They have run the last 16. Bennett again, and Wells, the middle linebacker, stood him straight up. Wells had been out of action with a pulled calf. They said it was still very sore, but he's been an important part of this defense.
It isn't always the guy that makes the tackle that makes the play. In this case, Cortez Kennedy, number 96, right in the middle. He's going to allow Wells to make a play. There they go. They have to double team him. They have to double team. Grunnert runs him over. Wells just stays in behind him, fills the hole, and stays at home.
That makes it 3rd and 8, Kansas City at its own 41. Clock running, 5:16 to go in the half. Bennett again. Excuse me, Anders. And the crowd did not like the call one bit.
I didn't like all 3 of them. You've got excellent field position. You're at the 38-yard line. You've got a chance to run some kind of play action pass, anything except running the ball straight up the middle 3 times.
I don't agree with you, Paulo. I really don't. I think that Marty Schottenheimer has chosen to say, and Jimmy Ray has decided, hey, look, we are going to play a field position game. With the conditions the way they are, that's what we're going to do.
Aguiar to punt to Kerry Joseph. Not a good kick. Got a pretty good bounce, however. And Joseph prevents it from going any further after a 42-yard kick. Monday Night Countdown. Tomorrow night at 6:30 Eastern. Join Mike Tirico, Doug Jackson, and Sterling Sharp with the latest word from around the league. Then at 8 on ABC, it's Monday Night Football, the battle of undefeateds. Brett Favre and the Packers host the Minnesota Vikings. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for primetime NFL football. John Freeze remains as the quarterback. I think Warren Moon still needing a little bit more time to loosen up on the sideline. They barely got the handoff to Ricky Waters, and what a run. He just would not go down.
Ricky Waters is one of those running backs, when he runs, it's continuous action. A lot of people say second effort. It's not. It's a continuous effort. If you watch Ricky Waters' legs, don't look at the ball. Don't look at anything else. Look at his legs. They never stop. He cuts back up into the hole, and he makes the play. He's the guy that really makes this whole thing work. Watch his legs. They don't stop moving. Picks up 9 yards.
Waters again, man in his face, cuts it back. That is a pretty nifty job by Ricky Waters. Jerome Woods makes the tackle.
That is one of the ways that Ricky Waters has really improved his running style. He's a lot more patient when he moves to the point of attack, which is where the play is called. And then a lot of the plays are designed for him to cut back. Watch the patience as a runner. He slides, get behind strong. Patience, now sees it on the backside, tries to make something happen to pick up the first down.
Tremendous balance on this kind of footing.
Well, he said to us yesterday that the Kansas City Chiefs on defense, they will overrun plays. They'll get down because of their great speed. He said, if I'm patient enough, I know the field is muddy, but he said, if I'm patient enough, I can cut back on these guys and pick up some pretty good yardage.
Gained 37 yards. They're about a foot shy of a first down. Seattle has not had a first down since the first quarter. 13:50 of the first quarter. A single turnover could decide the outcome of this ball game in these conditions. Kansas City showed an 8-man front, and it looked like Max Strong got the first down anyway.
Max Strong, the ball carrier.
Go to Solomon Wilcott. Solomon?
Yeah, Mike, a more updated report on Warren Moon. I'm told he has a bruised rib. They're still trying to get him loosened up to see if he can go back into the game. Right now, he's listed as questionable, and they are telling me that it is really minute to minute. They're trying to get him back into the ball game. Mike?
All right, Solomon, thanks. That was the first down by either team since there was 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Freeze, play action. Throws and too high for Pritchard. It's intercepted by Carter. Now they're going to say incomplete? No. The officials are still discussing it.
It's Kansas City's ball, and they're going to tack on a 15-yard face mask penalty on top of it.
Carter on the tip, dove, and got the interception.
You talk about field position and make a mistake. Watch this. This ball is just a little bit high. Should have been caught. Carter goes down and really makes a great interception. Now, Deems May, I think it's at number 88. He comes in here and on Carter and grabs his face mask and turns his head. That will be 15 yards tacked on.
Look at the way his hands are. See how his hands are underneath and he pulls it into his chest? What a great shot on the camera by that one. And then he gets up and starts to run. That's more like a head face mask and everything.
Now that will be a foul after the play because there was contact. Carter was down. May, you have to give him credit for going to try to make the tackle, not grabbing the face mask.
The face mask, number 88, 15 yards, Kansas City's ball, first down.
Just so we update you on 15 and 5. 5 is if you grab a face mask and let go, then it's almost like incidental deal, but it's a 5-yard face mask penalty. But when you turn a guy's head, they're going to tack on 15 every time.
John Freeze did have Mike Pritchard wide open. Ball just slipped out of his hands.
Another super call. I mean, they made two pretty good calls.
So the interception and the penalty moves it to the 17-yard line. 1st and 10. Donnell Bennett, anyone? Sinclair trying to strip the ball, and Bennett just moves the pile near the 10.
That's one of the things when conditions get like this. Defenders stop trying to tackle the ball carrier and start trying to create turnovers, and you see them continue to pull people. Rison moves down to come in. Now, this is where the wide receivers can make a difference. Try and shore up and do some blocking. Sinclair comes down the line. Now, he makes the hit. All right, Gonzalez has got him. But instead of trying to tackle Bennett, he's just trying to pull the ball out.
They'll whistle this play dead before it starts, and we have reached the 2-minute warning. 79,651 here tonight in Kansas City.
Congratulations.
2-minute warning here in Kansas City. Seahawks and the Chiefs tied at 3. Coming up on the Mercedes-Benz halftime report, Chris Berman will be along with an abbreviated halftime, the fastest 3 minutes in television. He only has 6 overall. And we'll take a look at the National League Division Series and update you on everything else that we didn't get to during this delay. Bills and the 49ers, of course, that massive upset. Gannon on the roll. Cuts it back. Gannon with room to run, and then they close on him and got him at the 7-yard line. Willie Williams saved a touchdown. And it looks like he's just shy of a first down.
That's the one thing that Richie Gannon can do. He has the ability to make plays after they break down. It was a sprint out to the right. He saw the pursuit and cut back and almost picked up the first down.
Both teams have all 3 timeouts left. This will be 3rd and a yard. Marcus Spears comes in on the offensive line. He is a tackle eligible on the left side. Bennett hammers his way for a first down to the 6.
Tony Richardson almost gets in the way because as he was ready to take off to go up into the hole and block, he slips.
Seattle or Kansas City continuing to let the clock run. With those timeouts, they have plenty of time left, especially 1st and goal.
And if they score, they don't want to leave Seattle a whole lot of time on the clock.
Bennett hit in the backfield, may have lost a yard. And they'll stop the clock with 28 seconds to go. The strong safety, Jay Bellamy, was in the backfield just about the same time Donnell Bennett got the handoff.
Defensively, when you get in goal line, short yardage situations, it's got to be the guys in the middle making penetration. There goes Sally Amua. Here comes Tez. They got to fire the holes inside. Those are the guys that have to make the play. See him just block it up. It allows the ends to come around and make a play. If the guards can't get out and try and block those linebackers and those ends, you can fill the gaps in short yardage.
Let me ask you this question. Do you throw the ball here? You look at the field.
Yeah.
You may not be able to kick a field goal.
No, I think you're right. I think what you do is you've got 2nd down and goal. I think play action is a great choice here. If you want to run it again on 3rd, you can and try for the field goal. But this would be the down, if I was going to throw, that I would try some type of play action. All you need to do is get a defender to bite just for a second. And the footing is so bad, he's not going to have a chance to get out and make a play. Probably try and get it to the fullback.
38. Kimball Anders.
It's okay. Yeah, you know this stuff, Paul.
He and Gonzalez
offensive guy.
He and Gonzalez came in tied for the receiving lead. Gannon is going to throw. Has time. Throws over the middle. Donnell Bennett near the 3-yard line. Stacked up there. Darren Smith was right with him. They'll stop the clock with their 2nd timeout. 19 seconds left.
Now I look for Tony Gonzalez. That would be the next likely suspect when it comes to throwing the football. Some way, shape, or form, try and get him one-on-one on the linebackers. Let him use his basketball moves to get open and make a play.
It really has to be frustrating for guys like Andre Rison and wide receivers, Lockett, and these guys, Horn, that are out there in a field like this. All basically what they've been doing is, you see Andre Rison's face, he's looking at the sideline. I'm open. You throw the ball to me. Don't be afraid to do that. But on a field like this, you don't.
But I still think before this game is over, a wide receiver is going to have an opportunity to make a big play in this game, whether it be Lockett or Rison or Galloway or Pritchett. Somebody's going to have a chance.
That was the first pass in the last 23 for the Chiefs' play selection. Marty Schottenheimer trying to get on the board again before the half ends. Again, we will have an abbreviated halftime, approximately 6 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Horn is the only wide receiver. Richardson the blocking back. Rich Gannon. Touchdown. the dimension that makes Rich Gannon such a dangerous quarterback?
Oh, man. Popson, Ted Popson. You know, you talk about tight ends, they have to block and catch and all the things they do. We'll see them. Wow.
Stoyanovich will try to make it 10-3. With only 13 seconds to go in the half.
Well, Ted Popson, who is the tight end, and on this play, it is absolutely magnificent. Watch number 48. He blocks at the line of scrimmage first. Now he's in the pattern. He sees Gannon now run. Watch what he does. Two guys. Bam, bam. They both go down. Gannon gets touchdown.
Good play fake by Donnell Bennett. He sells it. He could have thrown it to Popson. It never crossed Rich Gannon's mind that he was going to throw that football.
Dale Carter's interception sets up the game's first touchdown. It was his 21st interception since 1992. And Popson got a double on that one.
Well, and you see all these guys going up and talking to him because every single guy on this team saw the block.
Not only that, they saw how wide open he was. Everybody's going up and saying, you know, you were wide open. He's going, yeah, but did you see the block?
Aguiar has it teed up with 13 seconds to go in the half. Amon Green and Steve Broussard are deep, but they're not going to get the chance on a short skipping field goal taken by our kickoff, taken by one of the up men. And it's Reggie Brown who gets out near the 45-yard line, but there's only 8 seconds to go. What will Dennis Erickson choose to do? One 25-yard pass would put him in long field goal range.
Remember, now a receiver can run down the field, and even though he's untouched, can slide to the ground and call timeout, and play will be stopped. He doesn't have to be hit by a defender to make that kind of decision. So if they can get the ball close enough, there's a possibility.
They'll go with 4 wide receivers. Trips right. John Freeze in the direction of Galloway. Tipped. There is a flag down. If this is interference, it gives them a shot at a field goal. James McKnight ended up being the closest man to it, and it's against Seattle.
Pass interference, offense, number 82. That foul is declined. That is the end of the half. We'll have a shortened halftime of 6 minutes.
He pushed James Hasty, and they caught it at the end of the first half with a score. Kansas City 10, Seattle 3. We'll be back in 6 minutes. Let's join Chris Berman for the Mercedes-Benz halftime report. ESPN Sunday Night Football from Kansas City. It has been a mess. The players stayed on the field during halftime getting their ankles retaped. Anything they could do to get ready for the second half. Nobody had a chance to change clothes or dry off. Aguiar will kick it off to Amon Green and Steve Broussard. It has begun to rain again. And it skips between them. Green from the 1. Blinding speed if he can go anywhere. And got it across the 20. Let's go to Solomon Wilcox.
Yeah, Mike, as you said, head coach Dennis Erickson for Seattle decided to keep his team out here on the field with the short halftime. Now, he feels as though it's offensively, his hands are tied behind his back. Felt like the passing game was an advantage coming in here to play the game, but with the weather, they're forced to only be able to run the ball. He feels like his defense cannot afford to give up any more points in this ball game with the bad weather. John Freeze is in right now in replacement for Warren Moon, who is out with cracked ribs. Mike?
And Warren was trying to warm up on the sideline, Solomon, and he wasn't moving very well at all, and now he's got the helmet off. Freeze with time. That's Galloway. Across the 30. First completion to a wide receiver in tonight's game by either team.
Joey Galloway with that great speed is going to scare James Hasty, or at least make him aware. Hasty peeking back in the backfield. Galloway does a nice job of stopping. See, the receivers have got a distinct advantage of going where they need to.
Waters bursts up the middle to the 37-yard line. That'll be a first down. James Hasty cut his legs out from under him.
6 yards on the play.
I asked Ricky Waters yesterday, why, he always talks to himself, he does things, and why did he dedicate? People always said, this guy's always complaining because he doesn't get the ball. He said, I'm yelling at myself. I'm saying, Ricky, you could have picked up more yards. Ricky, you should have broken a tackle. He said, the whole time, I talked to me.
Freeze wants to throw again, a little half roll, and he got it to Christian Fourier, the tight end, into Kansas City territory. And obviously, it is a little bit better throwing the ball here in the second half.
Well, because the rain is just sort of sprinkling down a little bit, and it's not coming down that hard. Warren Moon trying to get his ribs taped up a lot. Play action fake is the key way to go. You bring the tight end across, you keep him in the middle of the field, you make the throws as simple as possible.
Blunt jumped off but got back. And this one intended for Pritchard. He got turned around and the pass was too high.
It was intended for Mike Pritchard. Coverage by Neil Carter.
Well, they're saying now a cracked rib, as you heard Solomon Wilcots before. You can see Warren Moon in obvious discomfort. You tape a guy up so it's not going to move, but you can put a flak jacket on that and it won't make much difference. It's still going to hurt like the dickens. Waters. Another hard run to the Kansas City 45.
Well, the one way that the Seattle Seahawks are trying to combat the defense of Kansas City, and especially Derek Thomas, is they're shifting the tight end to his side. Every time he lines up, they move the tight end over onto him.
I'm sure that makes John Freeze feel pretty good.
Yeah, that does.
3rd and 5. Freeze has Galloway open, and the ball just slipped right out of his hands. That was a nice little pattern just to pick up the first down. Freeze simply couldn't hold it.
Well, the fact that they did pick up a couple of first downs, now all of a sudden they're going to try and pin Kansas City back and play some field position. He grips it, and you see it just squirt out of his hand. Believe me, throwing a football in this kind of weather is certainly not easier. It's actually easier when it's raining real hard.
Eagles will punt. Vanover is deep. Signals for the fair catch, makes it up around the 15-yard line. A punt of 30, but inside the 20. Fiegel's one of the best at that. Timeout on the field, 10-3, Chiefs. 12:24 to go, third quarter. Now Kansas City backed up to its own 15-yard line. We've already had a 52-minute delay, an abbreviated halftime. Another storm front is on its way into Kansas City. We're trying to play between storms. 3 wide receivers to the near side for Rich Gannon. Under pressure, Brown and Wells. Gannon throws on the run. He was out of the pocket, so he could throw it where he wanted to.
Well, he had 2 linebackers after him. They had Chad Brown and Dean Wells.
Also, Rich Gannon had nowhere to go with the football. That's Willie Williams on Andre Rison. Rison, of course, with a bum leg. He doesn't make much of a move. There's Tony Gonzalez, number 88. They're trying to get the football to him, but Darren Smith is just saddling him all over the place. Gannon's got nowhere to go with the football except throw it downfield.
Darren Smith, one of the few linebackers around who can cover an athletic guy like Gonzalez. Bennett. Excuse me, Rashawn Sheehy is in for the first time, the rookie out of the University of Washington. He gets a carry. and just about back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Seattle Seahawks now are playing the field position game.
Well, Sally Amua, 97, and Cortez Kennedy, number 96. Watch these two big guys in the middle of the field. They just stuff everything. I mean, they haven't moved either one of them with a double team tonight, Joe.
And Jay Bellamy, the strong safety, was right at the line. Sally Moore, of course, was a star for a long time in Kansas City. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. Now Gannon in trouble. Lost the football. Seahawks have it. At the 7-yard line, Darren Smith, second effort, got there and caused the strip and got the ball.
Rich Gannon trying to make a play, trying to do something with the football. Greg McMackin's defense putting a lot of pressure on him. Watch number 59 right here. He's coming in, and they're going to wind up putting pressure on him. Here comes Wells. Good block by Sheehy. He's got him down, but he doesn't stay down. He gets up and does a strip job. Just sort of kicks the ball out with his foot and manages to recover the ball as well.
Biggest break of the game for Seattle. First and goal after the fumble. Waters. Maybe a yard. Tom Barnt, the nose man, would not be moved, and Anthony Davis was right there.
I got to believe if you're Seattle, you're going to have to put the ball in the air to try and get a touchdown. I don't believe you're going to be able to pound it in against this defense. They're going to have, if they could allow 15 people, they're all going to be at the line of scrimmage.
And they're all going to be in the middle of the field between those hash marks. I agree with you.
Dennis Erickson's team is going to have to find a way to get it in the end zone.
Galloway right, Pritchard left. Waters. Tom Barnt, the second, or check that, Leslie O'Neal, as Barnt came through the middle and O'Neal fired through and nailed the runner.
They're running the same play over and over and over again, and what they're doing is putting Max Strong, number 38, they bring him in motion, and then they give the ball to Ricky Waters. And watch number 91, Leslie O'Neal. When Ricky Waters gets the ball, Leslie O'Neal is there. There's just no chance for him to go anywhere.
Third and goal, back at the 10. Galloway and Pritchard both go to the far side. Here comes the blitz. Galloway is open, couldn't get it. Galloway beat Hasty, and Freeze just unable to get the ball there.
Joey Galloway can't believe it. That is a look of disbelief by both the coach and the wide receiver. They run a little type of pick play. Galloway with a little freeze. He's got Hasty just stone cold missed. That ball is down low. Could he have made the play? Possibly. But Freeze could have made it a lot easier by getting the ball out there. He just can't quite hold on. It slides right through.
Dennis Erickson knows it was a huge opportunity to tie up the ball game. 28-yard field goal attempt by Todd Peterson. Is the footing good enough? It is, and he knocks it through out of the hold of Fiegels. So Peterson is hit from 22 to 28. Major win for the Kansas City defense as they face first and goal and hold it to a field goal. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by NFL Blitz. No refs, no rules, no mercy. By Lee Dungarees. Can't bust them. By E-Trade. Someday we'll all invest this way. And by Isuzu. Builders of adventure machines. Isuzu. Go farther. That is a real fountain in Kansas City. They're not trying to pump water off the field here at Arrowhead. Although it would have come in handy in the first half. Vanover from the 8. Slips the tackle and gets it out to the 28-yard line. Timeout on the field, 9:51 to go, third quarter, 10-6 Kansas City. 10-6 Chiefs, 9:51 to go, third quarter. We are in Kansas City, drying out at the present time, waiting another weather system. The misery index It's been misery. 65 plays, 46 of them have been rushes, 4 fumbles, an interception, 7 punts, 5 total turnovers. We had nearly an hour weather delay. Rashawn Sheehy is the running back. Gannon short set and throws the completion to the 35-yard line. Andre Rison with his first catch.
Andre Rison, you know, we've been watching this guy most of the night, and it's obvious his leg is bothering him, and he can't get deep. But watch this, a little quick little slant pattern. Andre Rison goes down, cradles the ball, and picks up about 7 yards on the play.
Rison has been suffering with a hamstring. He's played only 4 quarters in this season. Sheehy will try to get a report on Donnell Bennett. Earlier, he had bruised his hand, but had come back in the ballgame the last 2 series. The rookie Sheehy has been in there, and Bennett had run so effectively.
Runs like this result from some good blocking. Tony Gonzalez has put on about 15 pounds. Now he's on Mike Sinclair. He just takes him down. Again, they cave in that offensive line and pin everybody into a big pile and let the backs pick and choose where they want to go.
There's Donnell Bennett behind Marty Schottenheimer. 1st and 10 from the 40. Gannon. And that time it looked like Rison pulled up as he tried to make his cut. It's obvious that he is not 100%.
Well, the field condition also has a little bit to do with it. That's called a skinny post. It's a quick 5-set drop by the quarterback. The receiver goes about 12 yards and then angles towards the middle of the field. But he can't push off to come on that angle.
Rison comes out. Kevin Lockett, who they have been extremely pleased with, comes on as a wide receiver. Gannon throws over the middle. Wells, great coverage on Gonzalez.
Well, Gonzalez, first of all, comes in motion. Then he goes in the middle of the field and he sits down right in front of the linebacker, Wells, and he's just sitting there waiting on him. All Wells does is look at Gannon, the quarterback. He really didn't have to do much. Here comes Gonzalez. He comes in. Now watch, he'll sit down right in front of him. Now Wells is standing there. He's reading the quarterback, reaches in, knocks the ball down.
He also is Gannon's third look. You see him look to the right, look to the right, look to the right. Now he knows where his outlet is and still tries to make a play.
The reason they threw this ball, it has worked before. Gonzalez, with that basketball background, gets almost rebounding position. Just goes down in the middle and tries to screen off the defender. Gannon slipped out of his hands, almost caught by a lineman. May have been. Now it's loose. If they rule it a completion and a fumble, or a fumble and a fumble, and Seattle has the ball.
Just remember one thing. When we had this earlier in the game is when Gannon's arm is going, if it's going forward and the ball comes out, now it's an incomplete pass. If his arm is going back and the ball comes out, it is a fumble. All right, here's Gannon. He's got the ball in his hand. He goes back, and the ball comes out as his arm's going back, not forward. This is a great call by the official.
Recovered by Darrell Williams.
And Darrell Williams was the guy who comes out with it.
So that ball actually ended up behind him, Joe. That was easy for the official.
Another break for the Seahawks. Greg McMackin seeing another turnover. Let's see if the offense can take advantage. They got 2 fumbles at the 16 and the 7 and only got field goals out of it. They'll whistle the play dead. It looked like motion. And the play clock was very close to running out as well.
That's another opportunity. You have to give a big plus to the crowd here in the crowd noise.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 68. 5 yards, it remains first down.
Dennis Erickson's offense is going to have to go a lot more in quick counts. John Freese cannot get to the line of scrimmage, take a look at the defense, and decide he wants to make calls of any length. They've got to get up, make a quick call, and go. Warren Moon still running around, trying to get ready. Now he's got not only wraps, but a flak jacket.
It appears he had gone to the locker room and came back out. Waters swarmed at the 41. Wayne Simmons led the charge.
The linebackers for the Kansas City Chiefs and Seattle, but the linebackers from the Kansas City Chiefs are so active. On that last play, 3 linebackers actually made the play.
Just tremendous speed and great athletic ability in that group.
Seattle has had receivers open all day or all night. It's just a question of John Freeze being able to get them the football.
Freeze to Deems May to the 36. Wayne Simmons with the tackle.
Now Freeze,
about 4.
Excuse me, Mike. Now Freeze seems to be going on like the first count. So we talked to Warren Moon yesterday. He told us, well, I'm going to come out here in this ballpark. Here, I'm going to go on a quick count almost every time. He said, I've got to keep this crowd out of the ball game.
3rd and 9, just outside the 35. 3 wide receivers, Galloway, McKnight, and Pritchard. Here comes the blitz. Freeze hangs in the middle and nearly through the interception. Donnie Edwards had it hit him right in the chest.
All that is Donnie Edwards just watching John Freeze. He just focuses right in on his eyes, and where Freeze is looking, Edwards is going to stand. What a great athletic move. There goes Donnie Edwards. He's just looking at John Freeze. He's looking. He sees him make the throw, and the ball hits him right in the hands.
They will punt from the 36-yard line. Vanover waits at the 10. Fiegel's one of the best in the business at this. Did they keep it out of the end zone? It's picked up by Vanover. Now that's legal.
And it is not a safety, because once the Seattle Seahawks touch it, the ball can be advanced by the offense, but it can't be a safety with possession in the end zone.
And they're saying the ball did cross the plane. Even though it was picked up by the offense, it will be a touchback.
First down, Kansas City.
And they'll get the ball at the 20-yard line. Nearly pulled off a great play by Fred Thomas. 6:54 to go, third quarter, 10-6. The Chiefs. Dennis Erickson has had no success whatsoever against the Kansas City Chiefs. 26-26 in his 5 years at Seattle. 0-6 against Kansas City. And the Seahawks as a franchise have lost 15 of their last 16 games in this stadium. And we don't know what this discussion is about either. Been a lot of these tonight.
Touchback result, first down.
1st and 10, Kansas City, from the Chiefs' 20-yard line.
And they're telling Dennis Erickson, I assume, what transpired on the last play when they tried to save it, but it was a touchback, so it comes out to the 20-yard line.
Kansas City Chiefs have chosen not to try and go outside. You take a look at the run chart. Nothing to the right. 26 runs up the middle. 2 to the left. And I'm sure they started in the middle and wound up out there.
Well, one was Gannon for the touchdown when he...
Yeah, but that was a fake up the middle.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
Got an injury report on Donnell Bennett. Apparently the bruised right hand is bothering him again. His return now is questionable. So each team has lost a star so far. Kimball Anders is the single setback, and he'll have to be the workhorse now. Chad Brown was right there. Sally Amoa in on the play.
Somehow, some way, Kansas City has got to get themselves a couple of first downs and get out of this end of the field. Seattle defense doing a terrific job of keeping them there. You keep them in long enough, something bad's going to happen for Kansas City. The only way that they're going to make a play to get some first downs is to put the ball in the air. And Rich Gannon's got to figure out a way to hold on to the football to get that done.
Seattle's defense was exceptional a week ago against Pittsburgh. The offense turned it over 4 times, and they kept them in the ball game. Gannon on 2nd and 10 under pressure. Sinclair got there, and so did Chad Brown.
Yeah, but Chad Brown got there first. I mean, they just put the rush on. They came up, and Gannon just tried to step up and throw the ball and really has no time. 94 is Chad Brown. Come inside. Nobody blocks him. He makes the play. It's Chad Brown sacked.
The ball's all the way back to the 17-yard line. It will be 3rd and 13.
I can see you not blocking a defensive back or safety or corner coming in, Joe, but you've got a big old 94, Chad Brown. You got to be able to see him and block him.
Here comes the safety blitz. Gannon with time to Gonzalez, but that will be a minor gain just back past the original line of scrimmage. And once again, the crowd lets its feelings be known.
Louis Aguiar in punt formation. Joey Galloway deep.
Galloway will go back to take the punt. He stands at his own 37. Aguiar 6th in the conference in punting, with an average near 46 yards a shot. High snap, brought it down. End over end. Galloway thought about it and decided better. Back to the Seattle 37-yard line, a punt of 42 yards. Seattle down by 4. They'll have the football when we come back to Arrowhead. 4:58 to go, 3rd quarter. Tomorrow's headlines tonight: the Redskins start 0-5 for the first time since 1981 when Joe Gibbs debuted as the head coach. They were just awful today. Broncos quarterback Bubby Brister, 4 touchdown passes against the Eagles, and the Bills a stunning upset for their first victory this season. Joe Theismann, of course, a star for the Washington Redskins. My question to you, Joe, if you can play defensive tackle or defensive end, you might have a job again.
I was also the quarterback of that 0-5 football team, and the thing that disappoints me most about the Redskins as I watch them play is the lack of effort that I see as a football team. I mean, forget about the monetary things that the guys are getting. These guys are not playing football. They're not hustling. They're not trying, and that's very disappointing.
Paul, not much for you. They've got a good punter.
Yes. Come on. You know, I'm with Joe. I'm really kind of disappointed with these guys, the way their attitude on the bench when they're not doing anything.
Seattle from its own 37. Freeze to Galloway into Kansas City territory.
He was tackled by Reggie Tubb.
Joey Galloway is matched up against James Hasty, as he has all night. Hasty looking in. He's just not going to get beat outside. Joey does a nice job of gathering himself and not slipping.
You want to know what's happening to Derek Thomas tonight? We talked about him before. He just can't get any footing. Watch this. When he leans, and usually, you know, he tries to torque his body. He's leaning. His feet are going out from underneath him.
That completion was 16 yards, the longest play of the game. Waters breaking tackles, lost the football. The officials have not ruled yet. Now they do. It's Kansas City ball. Dale Carter knocked it loose.
Joe, this is a little bit of frustration by Ricky Waters. He's trying to make something happen. He wants to help his football team so badly. He gets into the open field and he wants to make a big play. And when he does it, he doesn't concentrate on holding the ball. And watch Carter hit the ball, comes out.
And James Hasty does a good job of hustling downfield to be around the fumble. That's the one thing. That's one of the things that the defense of the Kansas City Chiefs stress. Get around the ball because good things can happen if you're nearby.
7 turnovers in the muck of Arrowhead. There is another weather system on its way. In fact, it was supposed to be here 15 minutes ago. Teams better take advantage now while they can. Gannon has this one batted up in the air. It's caught by a Kansas City lineman, and that is Will Shields, the right guard, with his first catch.
Joe, you know that Will Shields was hesitating. He didn't know, well, can I catch this or not? But wait a minute, this thing is batted up in the air.
What a great reaction. You're right. Watch when this ball gets hit in the air. It goes up. Smith gets in. Now look, he's not sure whether he wants to catch it. Should I? Can I? Oh, why not? It's there. Let me take it. Now look at me go. Now tackle me.
That is a big wide receiver, 6'3", 310. It's actually a gain of 5. Sheehy to the 44. ESPN Sunday Night Football. football continues next week with the return of Dan Reeves to the Meadowlands as his Atlanta Falcons battle the New York Giants. Join Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, and me for all the action right after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for primetime NFL football. Atlanta lit it up a little today, didn't they?
Over 50 points on the board.
1st and 10, Seattle trying to dig itself out of a field position hole. Gannon with time. Horn, he fumbles. And Seattle has it again. Joe Horn with the catch. Darrell Williams got it away. Sean Springs hit him.
I guarantee you that the coaches are going to get with the receivers, the running backs, and anybody that handles the ball and say, listen, don't try and get cute. The field conditions aren't going to allow you. Gannon look at him keep 2 hands on the ball. What a smart move that is. Horn makes the play. All right. Now, don't put it in 1 hand. Look at the field conditions. Look at the ball. Cover it up.
You talked about a pass earlier being a shot put. Did you see Rich Gannon?
Sure.
He's trying to get everything he can behind it and just shove it out.
But did you see the adjustment that he made by keeping 2 hands on the ball for such a long time? Something Horn's going to have to do.
8 turnovers in the game. Galloway end around. Got by Reggie Tongue, picked up a yard and went down at the 45.
There's something I really can't believe that Galloway did that. Not that he stopped, he could stop. I mean, we saw this field underwater, totally underwater. Joey Galloway on a reverse. Watch what he does. He actually stops on this field. Hugs out there. Look at this. He stops, comes back, doesn't make much.
That tells you how good he is.
Well, it took him about 6 steps to stop. 2nd and 8. Waters got a yard. Let's go to Solomon Wilcox.
Yeah, Mike, after the last fumble by Ricky Waters, he came over to the sideline, started to pull off the arm pads. He is now in the game without anything on his arms, no gloves. Feels like it's going to help him to be able to hold on to the football. We'll see right here.
All right, Solomon, you know he wants to make up for the costly error on the last possession. It's been all Seattle as far as field position, but they've only gotten a field goal out of their advantage. Third and 7. Here comes the blitz. They unload to Galloway. Trying to get to the first down, and Reggie Tongue had him by the ankle and wouldn't let him go.
What a great play by Reggie Tongue. He's got him the first time and manages to get away. But his second effort is what stops him from picking up the first down. Hasty comes on the blitz, so Tongue has him. All right, Joey catches it. He makes a play. He misses him, but watch this. He's not quitting. He just catches the ankle, manages to get him down 2 yards short of the first down.
And Freeze looked over to the coach like, let's go for it. And there's his, we're not making a mistake.
Oh, no
put him
way.
back down there.
Fiegels will punt to Vanover again. Hangs this one very high. And just made the end zone. Fred Thomas was down there. He couldn't keep his balance. And the ball rolled into the end zone after a punt of 47. Coming up next on SportsCenter, Dan Patrick and Kenny Mayne standing by to catch you up on the day in sports. We'll have the NFL Blitz, the Astros, and the Padres in Game 4. And our conversation with Darryl Strawberry. That's followed by NFL Primetime. Chris Berman and Tom Jackson with all the highlights of all the games.
Fred Thomas.
You know, Joe, we've all been there somewhere. You can't go anywhere.
Your momentum just won't allow you to go anywhere but where you don't want to go.
He has had shots at the last 2 punts and nearly made great plays. 36 seconds to go, third quarter. If you just joined us, we had an hour rain delay. It wasn't a rain delay. It was a lightning delay with torrential rain. We are expecting another system momentarily. Gannon play action. Time to throw. Down the middle, wide open. Caught. Jet Rising. Turned out run Bellamy. Touchdown. Stoyanovich will come on to try the point after. Rison with his 3rd touchdown catch of the year, and a huge one. Stoyanovich knocks it through. 17-6 Kansas City.
Take a look at this play. All day, those safeties have been creeping up and creeping up and creeping up, trying to get closer to the line of scrimmage. There are the safeties right there. You're going to see them bite here. You're going to see Rison come right down the middle. That's what running the football almost 50 times does for you. There he is. The fact of the matter is that Gannon threw such a perfect pass with the weather conditions the way they are, and Rison just doing everything he can to get to the end zone.
Well, so much for a pulled hamstring.
Yeah, you said you thought he was gimpy a little.
I thought he was gimpy earlier in the game, and I mean, he set this up, but look at the catch he makes. Keeps his balance, and now if you think he has a hamstring, I don't think so. Boy, I mean, just a perfect adjustment on the ball. Make the catch, keep his balance, and then score.
Had some great execution by the wide receiver and the quarterback.
Rich Gannon with a great play fake. That ball is in the air. He's waiting for Rison to outrun everybody, and he got it. Rich Gannon trying to go 8-2 in his last 10 starts in Kansas City for the injured Elvis Gerbach. (17-6) Kansas City. Amon Green, the rookie from Nebraska, deep with Broussard. Broussard straight up the middle. Cut down at the 20. Ron George, a backup linebacker with a solid tackle. And now without Warren Moon, John Freeze at quarterback, you've got to come from 11 points down.
I still think the advantage lies with the offense and the wide receivers. I think Joey Galloway's going to be able to get open. The thing is that Mike Pritchard and James McKnight have got to make some plays. The other 2 wide receivers.
Freeze has been the only guy out there all night with a clean uniform.
Give him another 10 minutes.
Waters for about 3.
Ricky Waters, the ball carrier.
And Seattle is going to be content to let the clock run out on the 3rd period of play. They'll have it 2nd and 7 as we start the 4th quarter. The big play of the ball game. Rich Gannon with an 80-yard strike to Andre Rison. 15 minutes to go. It's 17-6, and apparently Spider-Man can still run.
Well, you look at his hand here. Now, watch at the end of this play with Andre Rison. Watch his left hand. Watch him point up. Right? Now, look at this. Bing. Come on down here, baby. You're all mine.
That's like a 2/3 Spider-Man move. That's where the web's a little wet and stuck.
It's kind of neat, isn't it?
The longest touchdown catch of Andre Rison's exceptional career. Freeze throws for Max Strong. He can't come up with it. The winner of this game will go to 2nd place in the AFC West, a game behind Denver at 4-1. The loser will fall to 3-2, even with the resurgent Oakland Raiders. It is a huge game, especially for the Seattle Seahawks. They are trying to make a statement. Of course, Kansas City trying to make the same statement. This is Arrowhead. Nobody comes in here and wins. 3rd and 7. Freeze with time over the middle. Galloway dives out to the 32-yard line. Another nice play by Galloway after the catch.
Joey Galloway gets up a little bit gimpy, but he knows exactly where he has to go to get the first down. Offensive line giving Freeze an opportunity to see his receivers. Gets set in the pocket. Nice job. There's the passing lane. That's what he's looking through when he has the opportunity to make the throw to Joey.
Galloway came into the game with a bad ankle. He's caught 4 balls for 40 yards. They'll blow this one dead. Looked like Carlester Crumpler, the tight end, number 87, moved.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 87. 5 yards, it remains first down.
And penalties are so much more devastating in field conditions like this. Yards are so hard to get, you can't get extra yards back.
Especially when you're looking at 1st and 15 and you can't pick up big chunks. There's something you have to remember. Dennis Erickson replaced John Freeze last year in the offense because he couldn't throw the ball effectively down the field like Warren Moon. We just saw a big play by Kansas City down the field. That's what Freeze is going to have to do for Seattle on offense.
Waters, Barnt waiting for him. There's another flag down. Kansas City indicates this one too against Seattle. And holding.
You know, you make one mistake, moving. That's 5. Now you got holding. That's 10 more.
And that adds up to?
Wait. Let me get my shoes on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
1st and 25. I know that.
Throw that one at you.
Holding, offense, number 75. 10 yards, it remains first down.
It's the house Howard Ballard. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Thank you, Mike. Seattle, their tight end, Christian Fourier, he's suffering from leg cramps in his lower leg. Had to be taken into the locker room. They're going to try to give him some fluids to see if he can get back into the game. Right now, his return is questionable. Mike?
And that's why Crumpler is in there. He was the starter in '97, lost his job to Fourier. 1st and 25. Waters lost the ball again. Seattle got it back.
The house fell on it.
Howard Ballard, the 11-year veteran, came up with the football. The second fumble for Waters.
Tom Barnt is having himself a Pro Bowl game. He's up against a Pro Bowler in Kevin Glover. He's the guy right in the middle. Number 9, he's just going to go right inside. He's getting so much penetration. They're going to go inside. Look at him. He just drives Habib back that time.
Freeze dumps it to Waters before he's dropped. Coming from behind was Donnie Edwards. Freeze never saw him. Very fortunate to get rid of the ball. Then Waters went down.
Well, this was supposed to be a screen pass to Ricky Waters. And the problem was that Donnie Edwards was already in the backfield after Freeze. Freeze had nothing to do but try to dump the ball. Watch, here's Waters trying to set up. You see the offensive line. They're sliding out to the right-hand side. But when Freeze finally gets the ball to Waters, he falls down.
It is 3rd and 34.
You know, when you look to the sideline, coaches don't even signal anything to you in this instance.
They don't even look at you.
And Freeze can't hear the play clock winding down towards 0.
Play clock was at 0 before he signaled.
Timeout, Seattle.
That play clock was at 0 before he signaled the timeout. The officials blew that one. The official clock was down.
12:06 to go in the game. Kansas City with the lead. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by First Union, your guide to the financial world. By AT&T, it's all within your reach. By Residence Inn, by Marriott, room to relax, room to work, room to breathe. And by Toyota, everything belongs to you. Make it count. The result of that last timeout by John Freeze, instead of 3rd and 34, he would have had 3rd and 36. They're going to need those timeouts. Now he goes to the shotgun, standing just in front of his goal line. And he overthrows Crumpler. Now the field position should again belong to Kansas City.
When it's 3rd and 34, the defense has a decided advantage. That's McMillan up top. That's Hasty down the bottom. There's just really no place to go with the football. There you see McKnight. He releases outside with Dale Carter just waiting for him to make a move and jump him.
Feagles has to punt out of the end zone. Returnable kick if Vanover can get to it, and he can't. That's a great kick by Feagles. Angled it away from him toward the sideline and kicked it out of the end zone. 49-yard kick. A tremendous effort by Jeff Feagles. Kansas City still leading 17-6. Back in a moment. The fans somehow still loving it here in Kansas City. Their Chiefs are up by 11 with 11:49 to go in the ball game. Kansas City's ball at their own 45, leading 17-6. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Solomon Wilcots with you on Sunday Night Football. Sheehy grinds up the middle for a yard. It doesn't look too bad out there right now. But if you weren't with us earlier, before the 1-hour delay, this is what it looked like. And the playing conditions these guys had to go through. It was almost impossible to play. They have monsoons like this in Bangladesh, normally not in Kansas City. Chiefs has worn off. The Huskers is the team that played here last night, Oklahoma State, Nebraska. So the paint's gone. Sheehy hit in the backfield. And once again, Chad Brown was right there. The other end zone, you can see the Cowboys under the painting of the Chiefs. And if that wears off, I don't know what we'll see. We had 5 inches of rain in less than an hour, but that's not what caused the stoppage in play. It was the frequent and dangerous lightning by the stadium. And we are expecting another weather system momentarily. We've already seen a little bit.
Hey, slow down, Trigger. Enough of that stuff. Every time you say something, it happens. Hang on here.
3rd and 11. Seattle comes with the blitz. Gannon rolling away from pressure. Gonzalez nowhere to go after he makes the catch. Nice tackle by Mark Collins.
With this kind of a lead, you can look for Kansas City to continue to do things conservatively.
#1 draft choice for Kansas City, Victor Riley, number 66. He's really had an outstanding game. Here is on Michael Sinclair. Look at this. He just gets him to the outside, gives a lane to throw the football. And Gonzalez, what he does great is he stays in bounds to keep the clock going.
Kerry Joseph waits at the 15-yard line as Aguiar will punt it away on 4th and 7. A wobbler. Joseph at the 17 has a seam up the middle. Joseph cuts to the outside. One more man to beat. Aguiar, the kicker, the only one back. And Louis Aguiar saved the touchdown. No flags. The play will stand. A 66-yard return. And you saw Pete Rodriguez. That was one of the great offseason acquisitions for the Seattle Seahawks, the former Redskins special teams coach. And boy, has he made a difference.
Josephs does the only thing you can do in field conditions like this. Go north and south. Watch him stay inside the hash marks. He's just making moves right up the middle. And what a terrific job by Aguiar. You see him trying to be blocked. He won't do it. Knocks him out of bounds.
Pete Rodriguez has done a magnificent job with the Seattle special teams. You can see how much better they've gotten and how much worse the Redskins have gotten without Rodriguez. Freeze throws incomplete. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Mike, more bad news for Seattle fans. They're in jeopardy of losing their 3rd offensive starter of the game. Warren Moon's already out with a rib injury. Christian Fourier, he's out with leg cramps. And now Joey Galloway, we're told he has a bruised left knee. They just put a pad on it, but his return is questionable. Mike?
It's an awful lot of weapons to be missing if you're the Seattle Seahawks. Galloway with that blinding speed. This is the 4th drive. The Seahawks have started inside the Kansas City 40. They've gotten 6 points out of it. Here comes Thomas. They get it to Waters in the flat. What a tackle by Hasty.
Well, on the play before this, Ricky Waters ran the same thing, same route, out in the flat. He was wide open. At least he thought he was. So he came back in. They saw something to throw it to Waters. They come back with the same play.
Derek Thomas has had little success going outside because of the footing. Now what he does is he starts Walter Jones outside and comes inside and just gets enough pressure to cause Freeze to unload the ball to Waters, and Hasty with a sure open field tackle.
3rd and 9. Kansas City comes with a blitz. Freeze throws too high. McKnight was covered by Reggie Tongue. And here comes the field goal unit. Once again, Seattle has squandered incredibly good field position with their inability to get the ball in the end zone.
And Kansas City's defense has come up with all the answers for what they want to do on offense.
Well, you know, we talked about at the beginning of the game, all Kansas City really wanted is to get them in 2nd and long situations, to get the crowd into the game, and you get the defense coming.
Todd Peterson is hit from 22 and 28. This is 33. They get much harder with every yard that they go back. And now there's a penalty. It looks like it's on Seattle for movement. This will make it 38. And in this slop, 38 yards is pretty tough.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, the left tackle. 5 yards, it remains 4th down.
The biggest problem when you have weather conditions like this is to get the ball airborne. What we wind up doing, because you can't plant that left foot as well, you wind up driving the ball, which makes it a lot easier to block by the guys up the middle.
They actually got the ball out of the mud, Joe, and onto some grass.
They keep going, they'll be on some green grass.
And punting. High snap. They got it down, and Peterson hooked it because it messed up the timing. Kickers don't have much of a chance if they have to hesitate for a bad snap. Fiegels got it down, and Peterson just hooked it.
Later on SportsCenter, we'll go around the league with the NFL Blitz. Can the big unit and the Astros stave off elimination? Our Sunday Conversations with Darryl Strawberry. Join Dan Patrick and me, Kenny Mayne, after football.
It's not raining. That's a fountain. Thank goodness. We had rain like this in the first half. Kansas City is the city of fountains. And tonight, it's the city of football and the city of Belly Boy. Let's at least give him that.
You know, pretty soon all that paint's going to wipe off, and his neighbors are actually going to know who he really is. And then I don't know if he's going to get back in the neighborhood or not.
I guess that ab machine broke on him.
And you can't tell the other number. All you can see is the 1.
Sheehy. Seattle trying to strip the ball again.
We talked to Victor Riley, the #1 draft choice of Kansas City Chiefs, and the reason playing Dave Zott is out. And we asked him about blocking Sinclair. Look at his hands. Don't look too much at his feet, but look at his hands. He said, if I can get my hands on him, I've got him. You're going to see 3 of these. Here's his hands again. He's got Michael Sinclair. He's not going anywhere. Gets his hands up. Michael Sinclair, you looked at film on him. You said he's one guy that can use his hands better than any other defensive man. Victor Riley has not allowed him to do that.
47 of 52 plays, and he's only gotten 1 pressure and 1 tackle. That's a great job by Riley. Risen on the quick flanker pass. Pushed out of bounds after a gain of a couple to the 32 by Willie Williams.
He was forced out of bounds by Willie Williams.
John Kitna is warming up on the sideline, and I'll tell you what I think happened. The play before, they threw the ball to Ricky Waters in the flat when
Derek Thomas put pressure on John Freeze.
That's right, and he came up and he appeared to be holding his shoulder, even though he stayed in there. Kitna, the #3 quarterback. It's 3rd and 6. Gannon, short set, goes out in the flat. Catch is made, 1st down at the 42. Derek Alexander with his first grab. into the muck on the sideline.
What a great block in the backfield by Kimball Anders, number 38, and I think it was on Chad Brown. Kimball Anders just steps up and really makes a great play.
From the 42-yard line.
Look at the top of the screen. Watch him step up. Gets number 38, Kimball Anders, on Chad Brown, and he stuck him.
Kansas City trying to work on the clock and field position. Cannon over the middle and dropped by Alexander. It would have been a tough catch, but he couldn't come up with it. Hope you'll be with the Deuce every Friday night at 8. It's the hottest show in boxing. ESPN2's Friday Night Fights. Frank Tate and David Telesco battle in a light-heavy bout. And our classic segments feature the early fights of Muhammad Ali. All that with Brian Kenny and Max Kellerman and the latest news in the boxing world on Friday Night Fights. Galloway being taped up, hurt his knee earlier, came in with a bad ankle. That looks like they're taping a hamstring. Sheehy on the toss, cuts it back again. Sheehy to the 49.
That is the difference between Donnell Bennett and Rashawn Sheehy. This is why they drafted him. They like his quickness and his ability to change direction. Again, Seattle predicates their defense on the ability to flow to the ball, as much does Kansas City. As he starts to the right, you see him set up. Chad Brown stops it now, keeps his balance, does a good job. Now the move, and now the acceleration. Back against the grain, can't go much further, cuts it up, picks up what he can.
That'll make it 3rd and 2. Anders, the single setback. Seattle showing blitz. 8 guys at the line. Gannon into the flat. It won't be a first down as Rison caught the ball but is then buried. Sean Springs led the charge. Williams was also over there.
Andre Rison had the first down, but he had to come back to the ball. It's another one of those shot put deals.
Oh. Andre's got a face full of what used to be grass at Arrowhead and dirt. And now Kansas City will punt on 4th and 2 with 5:39 to go in the game. Tough to play if you can't see. Let's see if they'll work the clock down. The play clock at 17 seconds. Every second off of that is their friend. And Aguiar letting it wind down. Nice job by Kansas City to use as much of the clock as possible. A boomer by Aguiar this time. Joseph lets it bounce, takes it, and gets out of bounds near the 15. 39-yard punt. 2-yard return by Kerry Joseph. 5:01 to go in an 11-point ball game. Andre Rison, typical of tonight. Warren Moon with a cracked rib out of the ball game, we are told. And I really don't believe this one. John Freese has a headache. A headache. He's out of the ball game. Kitna is in. McKnight to the 31.
John Kitna has operated in this type of weather conditions before. Last year against Oakland in a rainstorm, he did a heck of a job throwing the ball around. This is going to be the future, they believe, of the Seattle quarterback position.
Out of Central Washington. Almost intercepted by Tongue.
I'll tell you one thing, of all the guys that have thrown the ball tonight, Kitten is the one that looks like he feels most comfortable just hanging on to it. I realize it's not raining as hard. It's still drizzling, but the weather, the field conditions still make it a little tough to hold on to the ball, but he's still throwing it pretty well.
He didn't start for his high school football team, and until he was a senior, went to Central Washington to play baseball. We are told both quarterbacks on the sideline are eligible to come back in the ballgame, even though Kitney is the third guy. Thomas on a blitz. Broussard out in the flat. He's got the first down and more. Thomas trying to put the pressure on Kitna. It was a gain of 16.
In the play before this, Broussard's in the ball game, but Ricky Waters limped off the field.
He would be the 5th starter if you count both quarterbacks that's left tonight for Seattle. It's been a terrible night for them. Here comes the blitz. Kitna unloads, and it's dropped and almost intercepted. Right in the hands of Pritchard, and he couldn't hold it. Derek Thomas again causing problems.
Mike Pritchard decides that he wants to try and run with the football one step too soon. Up top, number 85 makes the turn. Now, he just tries to start to run a little too soon. You got to catch it first, then you can go.
Ricky Waters, it looks like it's a hamstring. Galloway retakes the field. He had a knee injury. 4-man rush this time against Kitna. Dumps it to Galloway. Tries to get the first down and get out of bounds. It looks like he accomplished both.
Dale Carter, gain of 9 yards on the play. Correction, gain of 10.
That's a tough kid. We watched about 10 minutes ago. They're taping his knee up, putting a brace on Galloway, and here he is back in the ball game getting the first down.
When you get noise like this in a stadium, the quarterback can't communicate well, so what happens is Kitna lifts his hand. Now, Kevin Glover is calling the signals so that the lineman can hear the snap count. He is actually making the calls and then snapping the ball.
Kitna is moving the club. Another blitz. They pick it up again. Kitna throws, and Broussard had it go right through his hands.
Pass is incomplete. Intended for Steve Broussard.
You know, this just looks like the place to throw the football, Joe, in the middle of the field, because the defensive backs are, James Hasty falls down. They're all falling down in the mud.
And what's happening is that the linebackers are rushing from the outside. So you're right, it is exposing the middle. Broussard just right off his fingertips just slides right through like everything else tonight.
Kitna pointing out blitzers coming. Over the middle, Hasty got his hands on it. Nice coverage on Pritchard.
There's one that James,
32nd career interception.
There's one that James Hasty knew he had. He read the route perfectly. He's in the slot. Number 85 goes up the field. Watch when Hasty turns around. He turns around when Pritchard turns. Ball hits him right off the right shoulder pad into the face mask and winds up with an incompletion. You can't be in better position.
That's got to be film study. He has seen that so many times, he's going to be in perfect position. 3rd and 10 for Kitna. Galloway is not on the field. Another blitz. They got it. Anthony Davis. There is a marker down in the secondary.
The Seattle Seahawks did not get the clock off.
To the snap. Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down. There was no play.
That's actually a break for Seattle. They lose 5 yards, but they get another shot at 3rd down.
Look at Anthony Davis. He's not happy with it. He said, I'll take the play. I'd rather have the play.
Dennis Erickson's team has had some real problems with the game clock trying to get the ball off on time. A lot of it has to do with the communication problems.
Now here's the situation where the Kansas City Chiefs on that last play, which was a 3rd down play, ended up getting to the quarterback by putting the rush on him. I'd still come after this guy and not give him that much time to sit there and throw the ball.
They've got Warren Moon, Ricky Waters, and Joey Galloway all on the sideline with injuries. McKnight, Pritchard, and Blades are the wide receivers who are in. It's at the Kansas City 48, 3rd and 15. They are reaching 2-down territory. This might be it because they need 2 scores. incomplete. Intended for Pritchard. Mark McMillan, the little guy at 5'7", 150 pounds, was right there. And no sign of the punting team. They will go on 4th and 15.
That's why the throw that Kitna made there, trying to pick up 15 yards on 3rd down, doesn't make sense. You almost know you're going to go for it on 4th. Try and get it to a manageable number. Maybe a 4th and 8 or a 4th and 7. Take half of that full distance. That was not a well thought out throw.
Seattle, Galloway back on the field. Seattle with 1 first down in Kansas City territory all night. Kitna throws. This is incomplete. Galloway wants a flag, and he got it. And it sure looked like Dale Carter was there early.
Well, Dale Carter even pointed to himself and said, "It's on me."
Pass interference, defense, number 34. That's an automatic first down.
On 4th and 15.
I know what happened is Galloway's going down, and he's going to try to come back, and he gets hooked up. Watch this. He's going to try to come back, and when he does, Carter gets his right arm out and then his left arm and tackles him.
Joey Galloway is a smart receiver. He realizes once he locks up with Dale Carter, they've got to throw the flag because that's what they're doing in the league. That's a heady play.
Kitna with a pump fake down the middle. Hasty interception. Intended for Blades, but the 32nd career interception for James Hasty. He nearly had the last one on a post. He had great position on this one.
We've seen James Hasty drop one on Pritchard the last time. It's the same type of a pass. They run the wide receivers deep outside and try the slot. This time it's Blades. Brian Blades going down, little pump move. Hasty never buys it. Ball's a little bit underthrown. This one's not going to get through.
He finally got his due a year ago, Joe, when he was selected to the Pro Bowl. He has been a terrific corner for a long time. He may never get out of the Pro Bowl until he retires.
But when you look at that play with Hasty playing in the middle, he had tongue, he knew, back to deep and on the outside. So he could play in the middle of the field. What a great play.
Kitna got him down to the 30, but no further. And now Kansas City will work on the clock again. 3:49 to go in the game. They're up by 11. Sheehy will be the running back. Instead, they give it to Tony Richardson. And James Hasty is a member of one of the exclusive clubs in all of athletics, the 20-20 club. 20 career interceptions, 20 fumble recoveries. Only 5 other men have membership.
2 of those guys, Ray Nitschke and Dick Butkus, and Bill Berge. I mean, they're
middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Wow. And people forget
and
what great cover guys, Nitschke and Butkus.
And Jack Ham, another linebacker.
Right. And after Butkus intercepted a pass, look out. Richardson again. They'll stand him up, try to take the ball away, and he pounds it out to the 10. The NFL's best pregame show, Sunday NFL Countdown, every week at 11 a.m. Eastern. Join Chris Berman and the faculty of Bristol University for the only 2-hour pregame show in football. Then at 7:30, it's all the highlights on prime time.
Chris Callaway.
Seattle has played consecutive weekends in Pittsburgh and Kansas City. They have 1 touchdown in their last 8 quarters of play. And tonight they've lost Warren Moon to cracked ribs. And it looked like a hamstring to Ricky Waters. Joey Galloway had a knee injury.
Then, of course, next week they have the good fortune to look forward to playing the Denver Broncos.
Kansas City just trying to grind it out for a first down. Let's check the marker. Face mask against Seattle. That will give it to them, certainly.
Face mask, defense, 5 yards only. First down.
We said at the beginning of the telecast that Seattle would find out about itself tonight, how good a ball club it was. I think the playing conditions have wiped out any kind of an evaluation about are they equal to Kansas City or what.
Oh, you're right. When you turn the ball over as many times as both teams have, it's tough to evaluate a situation. I will say this. The crowd noise certainly gave the advantage to Kansas City because we saw some offsides that hurt some opportunities for the Seattle offense.
The other thing, too, is when Dennis Erickson walked in a meeting with us yesterday, he said, this is Warren Moon's team. Now, Warren Moon gets hurt. He's not out there playing. And again, I agree with you. The conditions really don't determine how good the Seattle or how bad the Seattle team is.
I think they're very good. They have to have all their weapons, though. Sheehy. Brought in at the 18-yard line. Seattle with 2 timeouts left as we approach the 2-minute warning. And they'll use one there. So the second down play will take us to the 2-minute warning, and they will have 1 timeout left after that. For up-to-date scores, stats, and analysis on all the NFL action, we invite you to log on to ESPN.com. And for all the latest news and notes from around the league, you can log on to NFL.com. This week's profile, Vikings, Jake Reed, and Chris Carter. Plus, after the game, check out all the Week 5 highlights only on NFL.com. SportsCenter will follow our broadcast. We have 2:06 to go here. The dejected Ricky Waters and his teammate Warren Moon, who left with cracked ribs. But the story of tonight will be the monsoon-like weather conditions that forced a 59-minute weather delay in the first half. Just to hang on to the football. Dean Wells, the first man to greet him in that Seahawk defense. And we have reached the 2-minute warning officially at 1:59. Back to the final 1:59 after this. Well, they say you never see the ones with your name on them. There's several in that guy. 17-6. They don't want to come here anymore, quite honestly. It was a nice start in the 70s. They were 2-1, but 2 wins and 15 losses in the 80s and the 90s. And this one may be one of the most frustrating because the playing conditions were virtually unplayable most of the time. Third and 6 for Kansas City. Sheehy. Swarmed. They try to go for the ball.
There's the condition. Sean Springs just making his own little pile. Now he's making his own little mud ball. Now he's looking for somebody to throw it at. Hey, if you can't defend them, just throw it at him. Some people make little snowballs. Some people make little mud balls. These are all kids playing a game. There's a kid that's had himself a night, James Hastings.
Here's what the Seahawks have coming up. As Joe mentioned earlier, they'll play Denver. Then they get a bye week, and the first of a 6-game string in the AFC West. Easily the toughest division in football, along with the NFC Central. And we will be there for that game at Oakland that will conclude that run. Kerry Joseph drops back to his 35. Let's see if Seattle goes for the block against Aguiar. End over end. Joseph at the 45. Got a couple of blocks and back into Kansas City territory. Seattle has played in Kansas City territory very much of this night and have not taken much advantage of it. There is a flag down as one of the gunners was tied up with 2 Seattle players. Here's Kansas City's upcoming schedule. New England, then they get their bye week. Pittsburgh, the Jets, Seattle, and Denver. After that, the end of their schedule is the easiest part because they get to feast on the NFC East.
Oh, how can you say it's the easiest?
Because the NFC East hasn't beaten anybody.
Well, that's a very good reason for saying it. They might have their stuff together by December.
I would think.
First down.
This penalty will go against Kansas City on punt coverage. And Marty Schottenheimer is livid about that call.
First and 10, Seattle.
Danon Hughes will get the personal foul. Oh, I see. Throws the left hand out of Broussard's face. And Broussard did a good job not retaliating. It would have been offsetting penalties. I don't know if Marty saw that part of it, but he's given the official a real earful. Seattle will set up shop at the 31 now. They still need 2 scores. Yeah, I guess he disagreed with it.
Marty said that was a bad call. But when he sees the replay of it hitting him in the head.
Kitten over the middle. Crumpler couldn't hold it.
The pass intended for Carlester Crumpler.
Crumpler is out of there because Fourier is hurt. They have lost one weapon after another tonight.
And if you try to throw the football in this weather, you want to throw the ball low. We've seen what happened if you throw it up high. Dale Carter with a big interception off a tipped ball off of Pritchard's fingers when Freese tried to throw it.
Kittner for McKnight. Had a shot at it and couldn't hold it. It's hard enough to make the easy catches tonight.
If you let the ball get to your body, you've got no chance of holding on to it because it's too wet and too heavy. McKnight goes by Carter. Woods comes over. He's got a chance to make a play on that ball. It just gets into his body. Watch this. Goes through his hands, down his forearm, off his chest, and out of bounds.
You know, they need to make some of these catches if they're going to help their quarterbacks.
Well, McKnight has struggled catching the football. He's had a few get away from him in the last couple weeks.
But that was a catchable ball.
And it would have been a touchdown. 3rd and 10. Kitten has thrown it awfully well. That one he didn't. And it's just as well because it was covered beautifully by McMillan.
If that ball would have been on target, McMillan might have had his first interception of the evening.
Mark McMillan is a gambler on defense. These conditions play perfectly into his play. Watch him take a hard inside on Joey Galloway. He sees him make the move. Now he looks back. That ball is going to be Mark McMillan's all the way if it's up high.
McMillan with 1 interception this year, 19 in his career. 97 he tied for the AFC lead with 8. 4th and 10, last gasp for Seattle. They've got to make this to stay alive.
Delay of game.
The play clock gets down to 0. That'll cost them 5.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains 4th down.
Yes, sir, Coach. You've seen it all tonight.
I have my personal feelings about trying to run a 2-minute drill from a shotgun. I think as a quarterback, you basically know that the team is going to be dropping off. You can get up under the center, get back and get set, and be in more control of what's going on the field under the center than you can from the shotgun as a quarterback.
But how about the field conditions?
Still, the defenders aren't going to be able to get a lot to you because everybody else is dropping back.
4th and 15. Kittner trying to buy time. Now to try to run. Kittner has room. He won't get there. He reaches the 25-yard line, 4 yards short. They'll turn it over on downs. Wayne Simmons made the tackle. And now Kansas City will just have to run out the clock. Seattle can no longer stop it. The storyline from Kansas City, we had play suspended nearly an hour for lightning and poor field conditions. 5 5 inches of rain in less than an hour. 9 turnovers in this game. 7 fumbles hit the ground. 2 interceptions. And Warren Moon had to leave the game with a cracked rib. It's going to be a long flight home for the Seattle Seahawks, who after a 3-0 start lose 2 in a row.
But I agree with you, Mike. I like the Seattle Seahawks football team. You know, I mean, there's a lot of character on this team, and between Warren Moon and Ricky Waters and that man there, the coach, they're going to give some people a lot of problems.
They've got to get their guys back healthy.
They do, and they felt like this was a game where they would find out how good they are. I don't think they answered a lot of questions in this football game. I think they still can feel good about who they are and have an opportunity next week with Denver at home to make a difference. Obviously, if they can, beat Denver, they move a little bit closer and bring Denver a little closer back to the field.
The Kansas City Chiefs continue their dominance of the Seattle Seahawks. But Seattle is closing the gap on the elite in the AFC West. Another win for Rich Gannon. He's only 8-2 as a starter in the last 2 years for the Kansas City Chiefs. Score, Kansas City 17, Seattle 6. Coming up next, Sports Center, Dan Patrick and Kenny Mayne, the complete wrap-up of the day in sports. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Solomon Wilcox, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Arrowhead. This has been a presentation of ESPN.